team in the country whose identity is so closely tied to that of its quarterback. And Wake Forest, meantime, is looking for a signature win under its first-year head coach, Jake Dickert. This is run out by the Jackets to the 20 with Shane Marshall. Check in with Don Davenport.
Yeah, Mike, under Brent Key, Georgia Tech 7-1 against ranked ACC teams, but only 8-8 against unranked ACC teams, and that's what they have today in Wake Forest, a team who hasn't played in 16 days. Coach Jake Dickert said that extra 2 weeks has allowed them to get plenty of looks at this Haynes King-led offense. Georgia Tech expects to see some wrinkles that Wake hasn't shown on film. Both sides of the ball, guys. We'll see how quickly they can adjust.
Yeah, so that is the question. Can Brent Key and Georgia Tech now do what they've done against ranked teams? Can they do it and avoid a stumble against an unranked opponent in 2-1 Wake Forest?
Yeah, it's an outstanding team all the way around. This is what they've built here over the last couple of years. They realize we are no longer the hunted, we are the hunters.
Wake Forest won the toss and deferred, so the Jackets begin with it, and Haynes King rolls, and he throws complete to Isaiah Canyon, who gets wrapped up after 4. 24 years old, Haynes King, a sixth-year senior, and he is so perfectly from this Brent Key cloth, and he can run it so effectively. But how much is he going to run it today against Wake Forest?
Well, we'll see. He's all about toughness. Look, they put the ball in his hands. It doesn't matter when it's first down, second down, third down. They put the ball in his hands to make the right play.
Malachi Hosley is the running back, not Jamal Haynes, and this is Hosley who picks up a first down. He ran right over Nick Anderson for 8.
It's all about getting yards on first and second down, and they're going to find a way to get to the numbers, Mike. When I say the numbers, it's they outnumber you at the line of scrimmage. They're going to run where they have the most blockers at. It's just basically quarterback gets up there, reads what the defense has, and he calls a play. A lot of things at the line of scrimmage.
The Jackets 4-0. They've got that marquee win against Clemson and a win against Colorado as well. And Hosley, the transfer from Penn, he picks up about 8 more.
It's all downhill, right? You see these runs, downhill runs. They want to run right through the teeth of this defense of Wake Forest, right in between those guards and center. Just see how it's downhill. They get right there, and it's nice blocking. When you get the old offensive line coach who's the head coach, Brent Key, it's all about running the ball.
As he said last year after that marquee win in Dublin against Florida State, it's a top 15 rushing offense in the country, 4th in the country in yards per carry, and a steady dose of Hosley on the ground, and he's got enough to move the sticks. But it is Malachi Hosley to start. It's not Jamal Haynes. This was what happened about 25 minutes before kickoff to Jamal Haynes. One in white reaches down and grabs the left upper leg.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a soft tissue type injury, a pull of some sort. He tried to stretch it out, but so far we have not seen him in this game.
Well, it's good to see that he is in there right now, spelling Malachi Hosley. He did get the start in the first few carries, but good to see the 5th-year senior Haynes is there with King, who checks it down to his 5th-year senior running back out of the backfield, and a stiff arm, but well defended by Wake Forest. Yeah, it's part of this offense that runs it with Haynes King and then this 1-2 punch at running back to such great success.
Yeah, look, there's an assortment of skill position players for Haynes King. And the one thing is that he doesn't have to do it all by himself. Yes, third downs, it's really Haynes King time. But outside of that, he realizes I've got some players. Just get them the ball in space and let them make the big play.
For Jamal Haynes, back-to-back years of roughly 1,000 yards. Fake the pitch. Another check down. Jamal Haynes with a cut is wrapped up by Nick Anderson. Third down coming up. The 6th-year senior safety in on the stop, and that is the leading tackler for the Demon Deacons, the former walk-on in a well-documented story.
Well, that's a big play right there because third down comes up, and Nick Anderson has to go out of the game for one play. Outstanding job of tackling by this Wake Forest defense on second down, getting Jamal Haynes down. But Jamal Haynes down, but just remember now, third down, no Nick Anderson has to stay off for one play because of the helmet coming off.
He's the communicator back there for Wake Forest. Pressure comes. King got rid of it, incomplete. Scotty Hazelton, the defensive coordinator, dials up pressure, and it's 4th down.
Oh, dialing up pressure at the right time. That's how you do it. Dylan Hazen, he's the linebacker. And a perfectly timed blitz by number 24. He just waits and waits, and the delay, he allows the blockers to go to where they need to go, and he blitzes all the way from the outside to the end and put the pressure on the quarterback.
Jake Dickert's gotta like it so far. Marshall Nichols, the Atlanta native and transfer, gets it away to Carlos Hernandez. And the Washington State transfer has a flag down back right around where he caught it, and he runs it out right around the 25. And then a late flag came in as well toward the sideline at the end of the return from Hernandez. The officials sorting this out, and we will check in with Daryl DeBerry for the first time here at Legacy Stadium.
I think they get 15. Devin Cook, he's the guy that was on the block at the point of attack initially for Wake. I didn't see the second flag. It came in a little bit later. But the one thing for could be a late after the play type of flag.
We got lengthy confab going here.
These ACC officials been working last night, and they were working overtime with Virginia and Florida State, and already a little conference here at Wake Forest.
What a scene that was in Charlottesville leading into this weekend, and part of the reason why there's so much at stake for Georgia Tech today, with an ACC picture that increasingly has a path for them.
Here we go.
The officials in discussion with Jake Dickert, Wake Forest head coach, to see what he wants to do with this.
The fouls by both teams doing the play, doing the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, personal foul, face mask, kicking team. Those fouls offset, replay fourth down.
And we do all of that to do it again.
All right.
I love it. We do all of that to redo it all over again. I tell you this, as a player, you hate doing that. I just ran down, did all my great work to go make a play, and then you get a penalty and you got to redo it again.
Well, for Jake Dickert, though, he's got to love this start. I mean, his defense gets a stop despite the ground game of Georgia Tech. And look, they've had a 16-day layoff since they last played 3 Thursdays ago against NC State, a game here at home. His first year at the helm after coming over from Washington State after Dave Clawson resigned in mid-December last year.
Yeah, it's kind of a late arriving to the party. A lot of players they had to acquire through the transfer portal. A lot of those guys got here during the summer, so still a young team for Wake Forest.
Marshall Nichols sends this one away, and Hernandez lets it bounce, and that's a beauty by Nichols, and it's downed at the 10 by Clayton Powell-Lee. So off and running, and we get our first look at Wake Forest offense after this.
And when Robbie Ashford is going, this offense is going. To me, he's a streaky quarterback. He's got to see a couple of those throws completed first, and then he starts to let it fly.
His superstar running back is Damon Claiborne off the right side. He picks up 5. Quick note, Georgia Tech long snapper Will Benton had to be helped off the field. We'll keep you updated on his status. But for Wake Forest, they really want to establish the ground game today.
Well, they want to get downhill, too. Damon Claiborne is part of last year's Wake Forest offense, where the word slow mesh is now gone here in Winston-Salem. No more slow mesh. It is all about the downhill runs for Wake Forest.
They want to move the pocket for Ashford as well, who sailed that one too high for Micah Mays, and third down coming up promptly.
Well, yeah, but we're going to see that a lot today, Mike. It's Robbie Ashford on the move. They're going to change his launch angle. So you're going to see some bootlegs, some waggles, a lot of getting the quarterback on the move and putting some pressure on the defense, whether you're going to go up and try to tackle the quarterback, because if you don't, he's going to take off and run. If not, he's going to try to hit one over your head.
They had a scary 10-9 win week 1 over Kennesaw State. Week 2, they blasted Western Carolina, and then the loss by 10 points 16 days ago to NC State. Chris Barnes, 10 in black in motion, a top threat. Ashford with time. Checks it down, and he can't connect again with Mays. I mean, it was there for the taking, and it's fourth down.
Yeah, Mike, but he gave him a fastball, right? I think he would have, if he went with the changeup, probably would have had Mays and gave him an opportunity for a catch and run. But this is where Robbie Ashford, remember, only his 4th start for Wake Forest, still going through some growing pains a little bit with this offense, but that was one definitely needed to change the velocity on his throw.
Bailey Stockton, talented wide receiver, is back deep, ready to get it from Cal Joseph, true freshman from Australia, is from Melbourne. Heels at the goal line, and he gets it away. It's a low and poor punt, and it will be excellent starting field position right around the 40 for Georgia Tech. First 5 minutes in for a top 20 team for Brent Key. You're watching the ACC on ESPN.
Because this is why you came here to Georgia Tech, an outstanding win on the road.
And now look at this. They have the 3rd best odds, 30% to reach the ACC championship game. It's actually less than it was going into last night. How about Virginia, according to ESPN Analytics, at 47%?
It's going down.
Well, that's the goal. And to put themselves in position to perhaps reach the college football playoff. Haynes King throws the screen, and this is Malik Rutherford, who lowers the shoulder and picks up 7. All right, so how about the college football playoff odds as well? With a win today, keep your case going, 16%, but with a loss, drops all the way down to 4% because you still have Georgia on the schedule. If you get to the ACC championship game, you'd have a very good opponent, maybe the likes of Miami. On the ground with Hosley, who goes spinning, and he dives forward. And Malachi Hosley's got a first down.
Yeah, I just love the way that they're running the football early on. Right, you get a couple of plays where you're just going downhill right through the teeth of this defense, either blocking up front. I mean, these guys, number 77, Keelan Rutledge, we're going to talk about him a lot today, Mike, the right guard for Georgia Tech. He's just pushing guys away, but this is who they are. Running the football are the Jackets.
Malachi Hosley's been busy already. This is a screen, and this is Eric Rivers probing for a couple. Well, you mentioned Keelan Rutledge, a senior, preseason second-team All-American. Last year, Rutledge played after transferring in from Middle Tennessee, and that was despite being in a major car accident. It nearly resulted in an amputation on his foot. Brent, he showed us the pictures yesterday. I wish he didn't.
Yeah, I know Halloween's upcoming, but that was a little too much for me.
King across the middle, sailed it for Canyon, and a dangerous throw, and a flag comes out, perhaps on Braylon Johnson.
Yeah, that is on Johnson. That's a big hit on Canyon, and remember, he's defenseless. This is a defenseless receiver, especially with the ball not being in the vicinity. The ball's already been passed, and Braylon Johnson delivering on the receiver.
Personal foul, late hit, defense number 23. Penalty force after distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So they get Johnson for a late hit. No mention of targeting there. The junior free safety, who's now in a full-time starting role because Rashawn Tung is out for the season with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, it's going to be right here in the middle of the screen. That ball's delivered, and it's incomplete. And see, he's defenseless. Canyon is defenseless. So anytime you get the hit on that player, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. That's pretty easy right there in front of the official.
Well, and the fact that obviously it's late.
Right. That's on number 1. So it's, you got a late and he's defenseless.
And so Canyon shake it up. Fresh set of downs, and Haynes King with the quarterback run, and he is met immediately. Nick Anderson gives the Dikembe Mutombo. Newark Gatkuth involved as well.
Yeah, nice job by Gatkuth. He's on the right side. He's going to blitz. So sometimes these edge players for Wake Forest, they're going to have to commit. They've got to commit to trying to get the ball carrier down. And if you don't get the ball carrier down, guess what? Here comes Haynes King. So they're going to do a little bit of everything, but Gatkuth went for the block, went for the running back, and then you have the cavalry, Nick Anderson, go get the quarterback.
Who last year led the ACC in tackles. And now we've got a flag, a couple of them that fly. And looks to be on Georgia Tech.
False start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
They get the center, Harrison Moore, for this Brent Key offense. And the real question as we talk big picture about Georgia Tech is how much can you run Haynes King every game? And can he stay healthy all season?
Well, I will say this, Mike. In 2025, Haynes King seems to protect himself a little more than he did in years past. I feels like he gets the yards that he needs and just goes down, where I thought last couple years he tried to finish, sometimes didn't need to get the yards, get down.
See his injury history through the years. That was his first carry today. He rolls right, throws toward the end zone, and that's dropped. Eric Rivers, the intended target. Karan Prunty, the sixth-year senior corner, in coverage.
Well, I mean, you can't throw a better football if you're Haynes King, right? He just moves to the outside. He's got a one-on-one and a nice route by Rivers. He just needs a better finish. The ball's right there, delivered on time, and it hits him right in the hands. You got to help out your quarterback. A terrific football thrown, and that's a drop.
Rivers, one of their top 3 wideouts. Remember, the 6'4" Canyon got dinged up on that hit by Johnson. And now 3rd down and long. King off his back foot, incomplete for Rivers. Langston Hardy had the pressure. The UConn transfer defensive end who's been excellent. And out comes the field goal unit.
Nice job by Hardy on the loop. So he's on the right side. He goes up and he jabs all the way around. And he's right there in the face of Haynes King. Not enough time to throw and settle himself. And he has to throw that ball late. That's a nice job and forcing a field goal with his Wake Forest defense.
Backup long snapper here, Ronnie Thomas, the redshirt junior from Warner Robins, Georgia, to set up Aiden Burr from 35 with the kick on its way. And Burr remains perfect so far this season. So a couple good stops by Jake Dickert, who's got a defensive mind from his days as a defensive coordinator. Now the head coach, as he was for 4 seasons at Washington State, and taking over for Dave Clawson at a place where there's always continuity.
Yeah, it's always continuity, but he's brought an energy around this place. We had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. He's got energy. He's got a lot of passion. And the one thing is he's got guys buying in. The buy-in has been easy for a lot of players around here. And they understand that with each game, they're getting better and better. They put this roster together pretty late, Mike, in terms of college football, right? You putting a roster together in the summer, late in the transfer portal. And so they realize they just need reps. That's what he told us yesterday. We just need reps. We just need to play. And having 16 days off to begin the season really is kind of where they're at right now of trying to get into the flow of the 2025 campaign.
Dickert, the 42-year-old, who was a Division III wide receiver. Then a GA at his alma mater. He started out painting the lines in the Division III ranks on the practice field. Told us yesterday. Now we got a robot who does that for us. Aiden Burr gets it away to the dangerous Chris Barnes for a touchback. Let's go all access pregame with Jake Dickert.
16 days ago, we've been waiting for this exact moment. For these doors to open, for those gates to go, and for this ball to be kicked off. You're so ready for this. Play fast and cut it loose, man. Cut it loose.
That is an eternity to be off in college football.
It's a long time. Trust me, a couple of Saturdays and you get a chance to watch football and you're like, wait, we should be playing. And now you're like, you know what? I miss football. That's what bye weeks used to do to me, Mike. You miss football, how much you wake up on Saturday and go out there for a ball game.
Well, here's a pistol look on Wake Forest's next possession. They went 3 and out on the last drive. A couple of misfires from Ashford. So Damon Claiborne to start, and not much doing, Don.
Yes, you guys talking about that energy. I've been watching Coach Dickert. I don't know how he's going to have a voice at the end of this game. Every single play, every single down, he's yelling positive things to his team out there. And I talked to some of his players. They said, yeah, he's brought this energy. It's a complete 180, but he also cares about us. Calls every single player at least once a week to check on them outside of football.
See the head man calling, you better pick up as well. Claiborne again, searching for his run tracks. He picks up 5, 3rd down and manageable.
Yeah, I thought this could have been a big play. I know it's a minimal game, but I thought this is where they're trying to get Damon Claiborne to get back to his style of running, of being explosive. Right now, he's kind of seeking his way. They want to see him be more decisive, get downhill. I thought he had an opportunity for a big play had he cut it outside.
But it's 3rd down and 4. Coaching staff said to us yesterday, we've got to stay out of 3rd and long for our offense.
Quarterback on the move.
Against a 3-man rush. Ashford lofts it. Good touch this time, and Claiborne hauls it in. take something off. The change of speeds for 10 and a first down.
Well, it took about 5 years for the play to develop, right? Claiborne's all the way on the right side. He was the lone receiver. He had to go all the way across the field. But I mentioned buying a little bit of time was Ashford, the quarterback. That's what allowed the play to develop. And you get Claiborne in the open field. That's how you pick up a first down.
First completion as well for Robbie Ashford. Rob Ezel, the offensive coordinator, was talking with us yesterday. He said we want to establish the run, then it's play action, and then we do want to take some shots downfield. But this is not a heavy drop back passing team. The quarterback can run. Ashford's got some speed, solid gain of about 5 or so. And rather a first down, he gets about 9. So second down and 1 coming up.
Yeah, terrific job out of tight end Harry Lodge, just getting up to that second level. And Robbie Ashford showing you early on that he can utilize his legs, get the positive yards, but it puts a strain on the defense, Mike, because you always have to account for where number 2, the quarterback, Robbie Ashford, is.
Again, it is fourth stop. And check out Harry Lodge, who spent the spring semester actually with Georgia Tech, but transferred back to Wake. Here is the play action. Well defended by Georgia Tech, and Ashford just gets rid of it. Second down and 1, a good chance to do that.
Yeah, you want to take the shot. Right around midfield as well. Nice job by Blake Gideon, defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech, because he realized, hey, second and 1, big shot down, as we call it. Let's play a little cover 2. Let's get deep in our coverage. And a nice job of defending the shot play with the Georgia Tech defense, forcing Ashford to throw the ball away.
Yeah, Blake Gideon in his first year after Tyler Santucci left to coach inside linebackers for the Baltimore Ravens. Big focus for that defense is limit explosives. They'll give you stuff underneath. On 3rd and 1, Claiborne is met in the hole. He goes spinning, and Devon Claiborne's got enough for a first down through the tackle of E.J. Lightsey for a couple of yards.
Yeah, another tremendous block there by 25. Harry Lodge just getting in there. He got the outside in, and Claiborne, again, downhill run in the second effort. Watch the second effort by Claiborne, right? He gets here. He had it initially, but watch how he keeps the legs moving, spins, and got a little bit of extra yards for the first down.
Claiborne, who decided to stick around even with the coaching change, said he heard from almost every school in the country, and he wasn't even in the portal. Ashford, quick hitter on the roll, and they want to get the football to Chris Barnes. Jai Gilmore defended that well, but Chris Barnes can be absolutely electric at 5'7".
Oh my God, when he's on the field, I always say he's not there to take pictures, number 10. When he's in motion, this guy right here, he's there to get the football. But a nice job, like you mentioned, was Jai Gilmore. They realize it. The Georgia Tech defenses realize that. And see how they keep him inside? That's nice team defense of alerting everybody. Hey, 10's in the game. 10's in the game. That's Chris Barnes. When he's in the game, so trust me, he's there to get the football.
Yeah, how about 20 a pop? I'd get him the football too. Had 2 huge explosives in the last game for Wake against NC State. Ashford on course for Mays again, and a lot of velocity on the throw from Robbie Ashford.
Oh man, they had a streaking wide receiver. I'm not sure that this ball is supposed to go deep down the field. I think Mays deflects the football because he thought it was going to him, but they had a wide receiver streaking. I think if the ball was supposed to go out here, but Mays comes across and he deflects the football.
Might have had Sterling Burkhalter. Instead, 3rd down and 9 for the Demon Deacons from just into plus territory. Four-man rush, quick release, and it's caught by Barnes and then dropped. Was it a catch? Georgia Tech picks it up, drops the football, and then they fall on it with Zach Toby. So was that a catch and fumble for Barnes? Right now the signal is yes, and it belongs to the Jackets.
Yeah, my first look at it, it's going to be an incomplete pass. He never really maintained possession or firm control of that football before it was dislodged. I think they're going to rule this an incomplete pass.
So they do come together and they change it and say incomplete pass as you thought. Let's have a look.
Yeah, just my first initial thought, he never really had time to, first of all, make a football move, but really hold and maintain that possession of the football.
We go to our rules expert, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, do you agree with that call?
Kirk is right on. The receiver never had control of the ball, so the officials did the correct job. Correct mechanic came together, ruled incomplete. Nice job for the officials.
All right, we have Jerry with us all day. Jerry, thank you very much. And so on 4th and 9, Wake Forest will send out the punt team from just into plus territory. Cal Joseph sends a high arcing punt inside the 20 and a fair catch signal from Bailey Stockton. Well, we got a low scoring 3-point Georgia Tech lead. Try to stay perfect.
When it comes to Georgia Tech, Jamal Haynes, the running back, how many times can he get the football today? And Jordan Vandenberg on the defensive side for Wake Forest. Chris Barnes, we already seen him earlier. They're trying to get him the football. And Langston Hardy, number 11, making an impact for the Wake Forest defense.
It is Jamal Haynes off the left side for just the yard. Good to see that Isaiah Canyon has returned as well.
Yeah,
very talented wide receiver for the Jackets.
Yeah, that was a big shot that he took early on a missed throw from Haynes King, but to see him to get up, that's a positive sign and good for this offense for Georgia Tech, looking to try to score his first touchdown of the day.
Canyon, a guy who might have a pro future, tied for the team lead in receptions, enjoying a breakout start to his sophomore season. Haynes King lofts one, incomplete. Again, well defended. Nick Anderson came over on Isaiah Canyon. 3rd down coming up, and it's 15 plays and just 41 total yards of offense for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Wake Forest defensively, look, they've had time off, so they've been able to see a lot of what Georgia Tech has been doing offensively for the first couple weeks of the season. So right now, a very stout defensive front of Wake Forest, and this secondary seems to be a little more experienced than I expected. Right now, they're on top of everything.
Yeah, that was the big concern for Georgia Tech's OC, Buster Faulkner, who goes quarterback run on 3rd and 9 for Haynes King to pick up a first down. Well, you said King's conversions, 3rd and 3. How about 3rd and 9?
Well, that's the first one we've seen today, a 3rd down run by the quarterback. And again, it's great blocking up front. Riggs and Rutledge, you get those two blockers in front of you, and he hides behind him. Remember I said earlier, he protects himself? Well, he hides behind those big guys who go 330, 310, and he rides them for a first down for the Jackets.
54 carries for the quarterback in King, top 10 in the country among quarterbacks in times he's toted the rock. Jamal Haynes searches past the 30. Well, it's always a balance for Buster Faulkner and how often he's going to run his quarterback. We do have a flag down at the end of the run from Jamal Haynes.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Braylon Johnson again. This is the 2nd time. This one is just at the end of the play, personal foul. Number 23, Braylon Johnson at the end of the play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So we had the late hit earlier, and then it's certainly late this time as well on Jamison Riggs, it looked like.
Yeah, it's right on the right side of the screen. Here he comes in, and he just hits the offensive lineman, number 70. You mentioned Jamison Riggs. The play's over, and he comes in and hits him. That's the 2nd penalty on the day for Braylon Johnson, and he exits the football game to the sideline.
I mean, those have bordered a little bit on cheap, the 2nd one.
Yeah, I know you want to be physical, the physicality of what Georgia Tech presents offensively. But coach brings him to the sideline, now brings him back in the game.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And now the false start on Jamison Riggs. All right, so how can this Georgia Tech offense get in gear so far? Just the 3 points here in the first.
Well, they just got to maintain what they've been doing, which is running the football. But they've got to convert on 3rd down. Right? That's what they've done. They've had a couple of missed throws, and a drop that sort of helped out the Wake Forest defense. But it's a situation where the run game, if it's going, it increases the opportunity for the big play in the play action.
2 running back look, and Jamal Haynes follows Malachi Hosley and gets blown up. Sturdy defense, and that's Braylon Johnson making a play.
And that's what coach wants to see. There's a reason why they're excited about Braylon Johnson. Watch, he's going to be on the left-hand side. He's going to come from deep. It's the safety, Braylon Johnson, and he just holds his outside. He just holds. See, he's there. He makes the play, but a nice job of pursuit by this Wake Forest defense.
And then after the whistle, you hear the fans booing. Ladarius Webb, the corner for Wake, got into it with Malik Rutherford, the stud wide receiver for Georgia Tech. On 2nd and long, to the outside, incomplete. Either intended for Hosley or Stockton. Stockton. Third down and long. And let's go back to the end of the previous play with Webb and Rutherford, middle of your screen.
Yeah, it's just like the end of the play. Just guys just tossing at the end a little bit after the play. There's nothing there. I think these officials have to come in, a little bit of an acting job there. Yeah, go to Hollywood for sure, Ladarius Webb, but officials got to come in and get this thing going.
Hosley out of the backfield, picks up about 4, but that's it. Another strong stop by Scotty Hazelton's defense. Quincy Bryant stood up Hosley, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's a nice stop again. It's Wake Forest defense so far, Mike. They've been on top of everything. They've kept everything in front of them, right? It's all about rallying to the football and tackling. They've stopped the run for the most part. You have not seen Georgia Tech convert on 3rd down consistently yet.
Again, backup long snapper Ronnie Thomas in for the injured Will Benton, but got it away cleanly to Marshall Nichols. And now fair catch signal for Carlos Hernandez. Let's check in with Matt Berry in the studio. Matt Berry, how about those moves as we check out this week's college football rankings brought to you by Prudential. And yeah, you don't need to remind Lincoln Riley about the start time.
Yeah, well, it's an early kickoff for the West Coasters, right? That's a 9 a.m. kickoff Pacific time for USC versus Illinois.
And for L.A. Kirk Morrison as well here in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest with poor starting field position, and Devon Claiborne picks up 5, wrapped up by E.J. Lightsey.
I think if you're Wake Forest, you're very happy the way this game has started. Offensively, you're still figuring some things out. You're moving the ball just a little bit. But defensively, your defense is here. They're playing well. They're keeping Georgia Tech off the field. Now, offensively, can you convert and try to get some points?
Blake Gideon's defense squaring off with Wake Forest and Jake Dickert. See the 1 second difference between game and play clock here at the end of the first. Quarterback run with Robbie Ashford, and a nice tackle made by Amari Harvey, the 5th-year senior corner, to set up 3rd down when we come back for the 2nd quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter.
Georgia Tech is perfect at 4-0. They've got hopes of an ACC title game trip and perhaps
putting more than one guy on the ball. They're getting off blocks. Got to do a little better on a couple of things, but let the back out of the backfield one time. But no, I think they're playing physical football, playing the way we want them to play.
How do you get offense going?
What's that?
How do you get offense going?
Execute. Right? Do our job. I mean, we had a drop, had a couple of misreads out there, had penalty. 2 guys that had to flinch. We move the ball and then we stall out. We just got to execute. Everybody do their job.
Thank you, Coach.
And Don, at the start of the 2nd quarter, some pre-snap movement there, perhaps on Wake Forest ahead of a huge 3rd down in its own territory.
Offense number 84, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
On the tight end, Eni Falai, the 5th-year senior transfer from Utah Tech, and that's costly.
Well, it backs you up 5 yards, and so now you got 3rd and 12. And now if you're defensively Georgia Tech, playing a little bit deeper in your coverage than you probably were on 3rd and 7.
Again, Wake wanted to stay out, like anyone does, of 3rd and long. So they run it with Ty Clark and stay ultra conservative, and he gets swung down by Jai Gilmore. 4th down coming up.
Nice job by Taj Butler as well, the linebacker. He got in initially. And a good stop there for Georgia Tech, right? You just heard it from Coach Key there. They just got to execute. They got to finish plays offensively and defensively. That's a great start right there on 3rd down, making a play and getting your special teams unit, which is one of their best units on the football team.
Defensive battle so far. Yeah, you heard the praise for the Georgia Tech defense, and Scotty Hazelton's Wake Forest defense has been very impressive so far against undefeated Georgia Tech. Room for Bailey Stockton. Made the first man miss, and another good drive of starting field position for the Jackets. Coming up, 3:30 Eastern, our SEC on ABC college football triple header rolls on. LSU and Ole Miss, a top 15 showdown at 3:30. 7:30, it's Alabama and Georgia. And then to cap the day on ESPN, BYU at Colorado against Deion Sanders' team. But how about this quarterback matchup? Alabama's Ty Simpson playing well, and Gunnar Stockton, who we saw in week 1.
You had me sold at Bama, Georgia. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be sitting down on the couch watching these two quarterbacks go at it. We had a chance to see Gunnar Stockton in week 1, man. He's an outstanding quarterback, college football.
This is on the ground to start, and not much running room doing for the Jackets. Devon Patterson in on the stop on Hosley.
And this is the way Georgia Tech runs their offense. It's run, huddle, get back, get set. They want to win first and second down, get into those third and mediums, third and shorts, and allow their quarterback to make the play for the conversion. So far on third down, they're only 1 of 4.
And Haynes King has only run it twice in this game. Pressured off the play fake, and King with a short completion to the outside. 2 yards for Hosley, and third down coming up.
So this is where Wake Forest has done their job. They've done their job. They've held the Georgia Tech offense under 6 yards on first and second down. So what does that mean? Now they get into a situation where you're forcing Haynes King to be a true passer. If there's anything that you would say about Haynes King, is can you force him to make the throw when needed, when it's 3rd and 5, 6 or more?
Saw 7 completions for 19 yards. Back to the air and incomplete. The blitz came up the middle, and then Webb had the coverage on Isaiah Canyon as Quincy Bryan had a running lane.
Yeah, Quincy Bryan, the little delayed blitz, and now you can kind of get the angst of Georgia Tech. That offense is not looking toward the sideline to come off. I thought they were going to go for it here. There's an opportunity to go for it. Watch this linebacker come right here late. And Bryant, a little surprising here to bring out the punt unit for Brent Key.
Yeah, you're probably right at the edge of the range of your field goal kicker, Aiden Burr. You're at the 39. He's made from 55. They say they target the 40, but that is Marshall Nichols. And he's going to fake it with a throw to the outside. And was it inbounds? It is a catch. Will Kiker, the defensive back, hauled it in. And now where was he? Did he have enough for the first down?
My initial look is that he didn't have enough for the first down. He's got to get past the marker and turn around. That ball seems to be just a yard short or a half a yard short of the first down marker. Unbelievable catch, but I don't think he has enough for the first down.
The ruling on the field is the runner was short of the line of gain. First down, Wake Forest.
So that is the call on the field, that it's a catch, but short of the line to gain. Brent Key gets aggressive. You wondered when the punt team came on late like that if it was going to be a fake, but man, if you're going to run that, you got to get to the sticks.
Well, you got to have Haynes King do it. I'd rather my starting quarterback go and do it rather than the punter do it. All right.
Let's have one more look as we step aside early in the second. Did Kiker have enough coming back to the football?
No, it's just not enough.
Virginia against Florida State last night. Left side of your screen, what the odds were to reach the ACC title game before and now after. Georgia Tech hovering right around the same. Big jump for Virginia. By the way, the call was upheld that Will Kiker was short, so Wake Forest gets the football. Kyle Eford with the stop on Damon Claiborne after 6. And look, Georgia Tech got aggressive. Brent Key trying to stir something up with somewhat of a sleepy start.
Yeah, a very sleepy start, early start, right? This noon kick. I know they're used to it. They beat Clemson at a noon kick a couple weeks ago, but right now, offense kind of slow.
A pitch for Claiborne, just 2 yards off the left side. But this is what Wake Forest wants. Take your medicine with Damon Claiborne. The 2-yard, the 3-yard, the 4-yard runs, and third down and short or medium.
Yeah, this is a big stop right here if Georgia Tech defensively can get something going. And Robbie Ashford, utilize his legs right here. This is a third down play. Give him a run-pass option. You got the field to the right, right-handed quarterback. I'm thinking go get something to the right where he can either throw it or run it for a first down.
He's only got 2 completions for 11 yards in this game. You saw Claiborne out, Ty Clark back in. And it's Ty Clark up the middle. And Ty Clark's got enough for a first down. Well, you felt like Wake Forest just needed to get started and get some movement offensively.
And that's some tough yards, too. To go right in the middle of that defense, just outstanding blocking up front, some push. And then you got a guy being his own blocker, and Ty Clark, 6 foot, 207 pounds, getting enough for the first down.
The backup from Nashville, who they describe as a tough runner. Ashford off the fake. Shot down the sideline, dropped into Chris Barnes. Took a shot at the end of it, but picks up 35.
And we already said he's one of our game wreckers, right? He can wreck a game, and you have to find ways to get him the football. He's a little down on the field, but wow, an outstanding throw, but an outstanding route by Chris Barnes that allowed him to get open on that play.
And big time concern for the redshirt freshman who transferred in with Jake Dickert's staff from Washington State. This is a guy they're always concerned about keeping healthy because of his size.
Yeah, I want you to watch this route. It's like a circle, and then he goes back out. It's an outstanding route from Chris Barnes. Nice little double move to get himself open.
Thanks for the sound effects there.
He did a spin move, Mike. That was an outstanding spin move. A lot of defenders would say, wait, what?
Well, Barnes is down. That was the first play over 10 yards by either team today. We'll check on Chris Barnes when we come back.
Better throw from Robbie Ashford, his best throw of the day so far.
Dropped it in beautifully to the electric Barnes. Now two running back look here with Ty Clark and Damon Claiborne running sidecars for Robbie Ashford. From the edge of the red zone, it's Claiborne. Breaks the tackle. Claiborne hits the edge. Reaches out, and they will mark him out at about the 4.
The ability. He's got elite ability to get up the field, but he also has great contact balance. Watch the balance of the running back, Claiborne. He gets to that hole, and he's able to just 1-2 and then get to the outside. That's contact balance by Claiborne and the speed to get all the way to the outside. First and goal, Wake Forest.
I mean, he is their star. Robbie Zell, Jake Dickert said to us, there's 3 guys we're trying to get the football to outside of our quarterback, and number 1 is Damon Claiborne. Quarterback run. Robbie Ashford finishes the run. Touchdown, Deeks. How about the drive from Wake Forest? And Robbie Ashford dropped one in and then runs it in himself.
Just look at this. There's nobody to the outside. So you've got tackle. You got receivers out here. There's nobody out here. They just run everybody back, and the quarterback gets right through. It's a nice, outstanding job of a little tackle over in man formation, and they get Georgia Tech out of position. And then Ashford with the strength to get into the end zone. That's a nice job and a nice call down there inside the red zone. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Connor Calvert, the redshirt freshman from Bend, Oregon, comes on for the point after that is true.
It's a great call down there inside the 5-yard line. And then Robbie Ashford, that's just the strength of the quarterback. He's 6'2", 220, and use that weight, use that height, that leverage to get into the end zone.
Well, so Wake Forest has the lead on Georgia Tech. Again, the Jackets 4-0, 16th in the country. 4-0 for the first time since 2014. Their highest ranking since 2015. They've had all these big wins in conference. Brent Key, again, 7-1 against ranked ACC opponents in his tenure as the head coach. But for Haynes King and the Jackets, they've been about 500 otherwise against league teams that aren't ranked coming in.
And they try not to think about it. You know, Coach Key said it this week. I don't think about it till you guys bring it up.
But he knew the numbers. Yeah. We didn't even mention it yesterday.
But he knows now, and he realized that it is a thing. And so how does his team respond? Now they're down on the road. This is where you find out about your football team.
He talks a lot about mental warfare and staying mentally sharp enough to avoid pitfalls. Can't afford a stumble today. Wake Forest has the lead, and let's check in with Matt Berry in the studio. All right, Matt, great action going on all over the place. And here in Winston-Salem, where Matt graced everyone with his presence a couple weeks ago, Sports Center was here. Haynes King back with it. Not much doing at all. No gain. Only the third run for Haynes King. Newer Gatkuth in on the stop, and the question is, can this offense be effective enough without quarterback run being a huge part of it?
Well, I think that's what you're going to ask Haynes King to be. You've got to do everything now. Not just run the football, but he's got to be an unbelievable passer today. Right now, the offense not working, but it's still about the quarterback making the right decision.
Crosser is complete. Fine catch by Luke Harpring, the redshirt freshman tight end, the son of Matt Harpring, who also played for the Jackets, good for 14.
Man, that's an easy route. Harpring just runs a 10 and in. He goes up the field 10 yards, goes in. He's got a little one-on-one on the linebacker. I'll take that matchup all day. Dylan Hazen on Harpring. I'm going to my tight end. That's a positive play for Georgia Tech.
They use a lot of their tight ends, but today without the 7th-year senior Brett Seithert because of a hamstring injury. Seithert was also sick this week, so Harpring gets involved. Two running back look with Haynes and Hosley aside King. Quarterback run. Haynes King skipped free. Gets wrangled down by Braylon Johnson at the 39. 22-yard pickup. No horse collar called on Johnson.
Yeah, just great blocking up front. You got Fusils, you got the tight end, everybody, and they just create the lane. Hitting the backfield, but he just hurdles over that. This is what Haynes King is able to do. You asked about it, Mike. Can they do it without the run? Well, the run sets up the big play here.
And now on the ground with Jamal Haynes. It's so fun watching Haynes King run. We hadn't seen a lot of it here in the first half, but it's his identity, and the toughness is so often found when he's running the football.
Yeah, the one thing is that he's a physical runner, and we always ask, can he hold up? He's like, I'm not soft. I love running. I love contact. We just want to see, can he keep himself healthy throughout the full season? But when he's going, it is a physical downhill running game that challenges every defense he goes up against.
Yeah, the top 10 rushing quarterback in the country, who is the identity of this team. Brent Key said to us yesterday. Check down Jamal Haynes. Picks up just a couple of yards. Third down and medium with Quincy Bryant in on the stop.
Hey, that grit and toughness you were talking about with Haynes, by the way, his parents both coaches. Dad, a high school football coach. Haynes said, my dad didn't think I was tough enough to play for him early on. So guess what? He was tougher on me than everyone else. Remembered a bad team practice when Dad sent him on the jog, the longest jog of his life. But he said that is all a part of what helped to shape him, and that's where his toughness comes from.
And we've seen it on display around the college football world. A handoff to Jamal Haynes. And he is short, about a 4-yard pickup there. Fourth down and short, and you'd fully expect the offense to stay out.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not even looking to the sideline. You know, fourth and short, or even third and 3 or less, it's Haynes King time. And here comes the big bodies coming into the game. They're going to overload you with the big stacks of offensive linemen and tight ends. I fully anticipate that number 10 is going to have the ball in his hands right here on fourth down.
And two more tight ends, J.T. Byrne and Josh Beetham come in. Hosley, the running back. Didn't keep it in Haynes King's hands on the last fourth down. They do here, and Haynes King reaches out, and he is short. What a stop by Wake Forest and Quincy Bryant.
Sideline warning, Wake Forest, sideline.
It's something you don't see too often. That's Haynes King getting hit in the backfield on a short situation. Quincy Bryant, number 9, flies right through. He makes the play, and the Wake Forest defense, Demon Deacons, standing tall. Had 16 days to prepare. They are showing how well prepared they are against this Georgia Tech offensive attack.
So ball at the 31 for Robbie Ashford and the Deacs. Ashford, too tall for Mays again. Well, and so because of that, because Georgia Tech is trailing, during the last time out, check out Brent Key on the sideline for the Yellow Jackets, a guy who this year is trying to be more calm on game days, was anything but.
Yeah, he's anything but calm.
Yeah, Brent Key told us, calm breeds calm on the sideline. Don't make something bad worse. But I will tell you, listening in on that conversation, that was not necessarily a calm Coach Key after that last possession. Gathered the entire team around after he paced the sideline for a bit.
Well, they trail in this game. And good to see Chris Barnes is back in for Wake Forest. Here he is. Barnes trying to get the edge, absorbs another hit from Amari Harvey, and third down coming up after 4 yards.
Yeah, great to see him on the field. And what do? They go right to him, right? When number 10 is in the game, whether he's in the slot, whether he's in the backfield, they're trying to get him the football. And that's why you have to keep all eyes on number 10. He's going to be in the slot on this play right here.
Again, Wake Forest is trying to get the ball to Barnes and Claiborne, and then their tight end we haven't heard from, Eddie Falai.
There's Barnes right there in the slot, Mike.
It's been their top wide receiver, and he can flat out fly. Ashford on corks to the edge for Burkhalter. Inside the 30. Boy, a couple of dimes from Robbie Ashford.
And a lot of this is because of Chris Barnes. The attention that Chris Barnes has, it keeps the safety over the top. And so now you have one-on-one. Watch this safety. He's going to lean here to take away Barnes, but the throw goes out here. Even Chris Barnes, when he doesn't get the ball, he affects the play because the safety stays over the top and allows that play to develop for Robbie Ashford.
To Sterling Burkhalter for 39 and the longest play of the day. Claiborne bounces it and follows Ashford. House call. How about them Deeks?
I want you to watch this blitz that comes from the outside. Number 23, Zach Toby. He's got to put everything back in. He's got to turn it all back in. He doesn't do that, and that's what allows this play to develop. As the outside corner on the blitz, you've got to turn everything back. You have to hold the edge. You don't hold the edge, and look what happens. The ball gets to the outside, and Claiborne to the end zone.
Because if you don't, Damon Claiborne can hit the gas. Robbie Zell, the offensive coordinator, said to us yesterday, we know Claiborne's home run ability, as explosive as any running back I've ever been around, a guy who was at Alabama for 10 years.
He just wants to get downhill. They've been waiting for it. They've been screaming for it. This isn't the slow mesh anymore where you have to wait and allow the play to develop. This is a different running style, a different run game for Wake Forest, and you see it there. Multiple blockers and the ability to hit space for Claiborne for the touchdown.
Guys, his nickname in Little League, Lightning, because of that speed. He claims he's the fastest. Some say it's Chris Barnes, but whoo, that speed certainly helped him as a kid because he didn't like to get hit.
He can move for Jake Dickert, who wanted to keep Damon Claiborne right away when he took this job. Again, with the portal open for a few weeks by the time Dickert arrived, he kept Claiborne. And what a statement first half this has been in year one for Jake Dickert and this Wake Forest team off the 2-week layoff. Biggest deficit of the season for number 16, Georgia Tech. Caleb Carlson gets it away towards Shane Marshall for another touchback. Well, the Taco Bell Live Más student section likes this, and only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Jake Dickert said to us yesterday, he said whatever everyone expected coming into this season, and Wake Forest was picked 16th of 17 in the ACC. He said he's already certain they're going to be better than that based on what he had seen coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. He feels that right now his team is where they need to be. They're still getting better and better week to week. But now, how can they play with the lead? They didn't maintain that lead a couple weeks ago versus NC State. Can they hold it today?
Haynes King to the outside for Isaiah Canyon in a pickup of 8. It's been loud from Wake Forest, coming off back-to-back 4-8 seasons the last 2 years at the end of Dave Clawson's tenure. Before that, though, of course, 7 straight bowl games here. Some great success back in 21 and 22. This program was ranked 10th in the country, but it's a new era now. Jamal Haynes turns it upfield, finishes a run, and he's got a first down.
You feel a sense of urgency on this drive, right? A little more execution, a little more crisp. look, one easy route on first down, conversion on second down, and then right there on the ball again. A little no huddle.
Again, Brent Key got into his team on the sideline. Colorfully. Haynes out of the backfield. Tripped up. What a great tackle that is by Miles Turpin, redshirt freshman backup safety.
He ran about 60 yards for that tackle, Mike. He was all the way in center field. He's on the WF on the 50-yard line and just made a beeline for Haynes and got him down for a minimal gain. Nice job by Turpin.
So before today, it only played 16 snaps this season. The ball's at the 37. King got it to Stockton, who dives down. He picks up very little.
Well, it's very little because of the coverage of Wake Forest right now. They're playing high safeties. They're seeing, can Georgia Tech execute all the way down the field throwing the football? They're not going to allow the big play. That's why we've seen so many checkdowns so far from Haynes King.
King's only got one completion of at least 10 yards. Big third down and 7 with 4 to go in the first half. Jalen Gordon motions out of the backfield. Pressure comes. King got rid of it and a strike, but Rutherford is tripped up. Short of the sticks by the defensive end, Newer Gatku.
And that's a mistake by the fifth-year senior. Rutherford had the first down. He's just got to get north and south. He can get up the field. He had the first down, but he decided to go back and retreat for more yards. Just watch the left side of your screen. Right now, that ball is caught by Rutherford. He's just got to go north and south. He's got it. Watch, he stops. He's got the first down right there, but decides to retreat. And that's where he lost it. And he look after the play, he realizes, I cost my team a first down.
Nichols spins a beauty toward Carlos Hernandez, who let it drop dangerously at the last moment. Did not touch it, and it'll start at the 10. Let's check in with Matt Perry. How about that ACC opener for both teams, and the Shark crew of Pitt making a statement against Miller Moss and company, and the same can be said of Jake Dickert's team, who's got the football up by 11 with 3+ to go in this first half. And remember, the Deacs will get the football too to begin the second half. Last couple of drives, so much success, but a third drive that starts at Wake's own 10. Ashford pulled it from Claiborne, and Robbie Ashford can scoop down the sideline. Bumped out of bounds near the 35 by Daquan White, and this kid is an athlete.
Man, this is the challenge that A.J. Hoffler, number 88, right there on the right side of the screen. He's trying to go down, and he tackles the running back. No one tackles Robbie Ashford. This is always difficult when you've got quarterbacks with this ability. The read option, we've seen it for how long, Mike? It's just so difficult for a defensive end. Do I take quarterback? Do I go down onto the ball carrier? At that time, in a pickle, and Ashford made him pay.
So you got the 2-minute timeout that lurks about a half minute from now. You got plenty of time, and the goal for Wake Forest is to keep the football the rest of this half. Chris Barnes with a stiff arm, and Barnes shoved out of bounds after a couple by Jai Gilmore. So how do you manage this if you're Wake Forest? Run it down and just be patient offensively?
Yeah, just be patient. I would say right here, second down, we one of those big run downs, especially with the hurry-up offense.
I would doubt that they're going to snap this and just take the 2-minute timeout and see if they can hang on to the football and add some more points. Jake Dickert is searching for a signature win in year 1. Thank you back here at Winston-Salem. Wake Forest with a 14-3 lead on number 16 Georgia Tech. Robbie Ashford handled the low snap, got it to Devon Claiborne, who gets banged down, and the football came out. And it looks like Wake Forest pounced on it at the end of it. Braden Manley punched it out, and fortuitous for the Deacs.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous for Wake Forest. That's an experienced ball carrier in Claiborne, just not holding on to the football, and a nice job of knocking it out.
And then you see Enny Falai, the tight end, pounces on it for the Demon Deacons. So 3rd down and 3, inside of 90 seconds to go until halftime, and a near miss for Braden Manley. Ashford on the double clutch, zipped it in for Micah Mays. Takes it inside the 30, and a 3rd down conversion of 35.
Gotta love this conversion. Mays is on the outside. All he runs is a 10-yard stop, and he stops right on the hash mark. But watch the eyes of the quarterback. He's waiting for it to develop the entire time. Nice job with the blocking up front, but watch Ashford. He makes sure he maneuvers and finds his receiver who's standing right there, waiting for the window to open. He had to wait and wait, but he got it in there.
Boy, there have been dots from Robbie Ashford a couple times. That was a dart connecting with Micah Mays, the redshirt sophomore, only his 5th catch of the season after those guys 3 times had not been on the same page earlier. 3 passes of at least 35 yards. And now the final minute until halftime. Ashford, Falai, and Falai sets up 1st and goal.
It's one of those plays where they try to hide the tight end. He's going to be front side, so he's got to wait. This is another route that needs to develop, and a nice job there on the play call by Ezell, the coordinator.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts, 40 seconds to go. Ashford, the keeper, gets met by E.J. Lightsey. And we'll get the first timeout taken. Jake Dickert signaled for the timeout ahead of 2nd down and goal. Well, you heard Matt Berry in the studio talking about the Florida State fallout. They go down to Virginia last night. And how about Kirk Morrison, what we have seen here from Wake Forest in year 1 under Jake Dickert against Georgia Tech, who's been one of the early season darlings. And the question was, could they handle the prosperity?
Yeah, I think that they can. They're showing right now that they're a team that is on a mission, right? They're on a mission to say, you know what? We didn't play We didn't play well the last couple of weeks. They had a lead against NC State a couple of weeks ago. They felt they should have been able to go out and finish that game off. But it's a different mindset here at Wake Forest. And Jake Dickert's energy, you can feel it. It's a noon kick, but everybody around here, they're ready to go. On the opposite side, Georgia Tech kind of sleepwalking early in this football game.
Why?
I think the reason why so much is being put on the King, Haynes King, their quarterback. He's got to run it, he's got to throw it, he's got to catch it, it seems like. And right now, no one outside of Haynes King is stepping up and making the big play.
That's been the problem for Brent Key's offense. Remember, they went for it on a couple of 4th downs as well. And then the flip side of things, let's not forget about Wake Forest and this 6th-year senior Robbie Ashford, who has played so much better as this first half has gone along. Again, his 4th different school. He said, everybody had high expectations for me. Sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way. That's life. He said, I'm thankful I went through all this, all the stops. Said it taught me a lot about myself and what I can and can't handle. And now in his 4th game here at his new school, boy, he's played better in this half.
Well, I think the bigger thing is it's just a fresh start for not just the quarterback, for a lot of these guys here. They went out and they've got a lot of new players on this ball club. A lot from Washington State that followed Dickert here. And it's just they've been able to come together and bring a chemistry that they didn't know they had.
Well, Jake Dickert was trying to call timeout. Brent Key ended up getting it first. And now Ashford has it taken away by Georgia Tech. Omar Daniels, another takeaway for him. And Georgia Tech needed that.
Like, it's going to be interesting here because the quarterback Ashford's arm is going forward. He's going forward and he's hit at the end of it. Now this is going to be a conversation. This is going to be a replay. We've got to see, is there an open hand when he's hit, resulting in an incomplete pass, or will they call this a fumble? I'm going to say, my first look, I think this is an incomplete pass. This is not going forward with an open hand. that results in a fumble. This is an arm
The
going
ruling on
forward
the
with the
field of a
football
fumble
control.
recovered by the defense is under further review.
Remember the letter of the law. Any intentional movement of the passer's hand with the ball firmly in their control starts the forward pass. So let's bring in our rules expert, Jerry McGinn. And Jerry, how do you see it?
I'll tell you, the rule on the field is a fumble. What replay is going to look at is whether the quarterback was actually trying to tuck the ball back in as opposed to throw it. But you are right. As soon as the hand starts forward, then it is deemed a pass. So this will be an interesting discussion in replay because it does appear that he may be trying to bring it down as opposed to trying to pass it.
All right, that's the letter of the law. With the hand firmly in their control, starts the forward pass unless the player clearly starts to bring the ball back with firm control to the passer's body. Jerry, do you see that? Do you see that he is clearly bringing the ball back?
I do see him with firm control, bringing the ball back in, not releasing it. So I believe the ruling on the field will be upheld to a fumble.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I'm kind of trying to figure out when does he complete the throwing motion. And as he's trying to complete the throwing motion, he's hit, and the football pops out as if it's an incomplete pass. This is a tough one for the officials here, Jerry. I understand because you're seeing both sides of it. I can see fumble, but I can also see a situation where there's an incomplete pass. I'm going to lean on incomplete pass because never had a chance to complete the throwing motion when he's hit.
Yep. Honestly, Kirk, if he was throwing the ball, he would have already released it up high as opposed to bringing it back down. So that's why
Jerry, I think this is going to be upheld. He clearly starts. He doesn't need to bring it all the way fully back. Just start to bring the ball back with firm control to his body, in which case then it can be a fumble and then it could be upheld.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I can see it so far right now.
Well, now they're starting. Yeah, they're starting to write numbers down, write information down, so they may be bringing this back.
Yeah, I don't know when the completion of his throw is. Because I think he's trying to finish the throw and he's hit. And to me, that results in an incomplete pass with the empty hand.
After further review, the quarterback's hand was moving forward with control for an incomplete pass. Please set the game clock to 30 seconds. 3-0.
All right, so I mean, it's right on the border, and they're going to say it is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I agree with that call. That's what I looked at initially because he never had a chance to really bring the football all the way down. I'm going with the throwing motion. And remember, you're talking about a guy who used to play for the Raiders. So I know the tuck rule, buddy. I've studied the tuck rule a long time. So, yes, it brings up some old memories, some old wounds that had to open up there. But that right there was an incomplete pass.
Jerry, thank you. And now a big opportunity for Wake Forest. They keep the football here. Borderline for Georgia Tech. Thought it had a takeaway, and now Wake Forest can add on. 3rd down and goal. Robbie Ashford on the move. Ashford just ducks out of bounds ahead of E.J. Lightsey. 4th down coming up.
Oh, I love that decision, though, by Ashford. He could have forced the ball. Chris Barnes kind of uncovered late in the down, but it would have been throwing across your body. Ashford gets to the next down. Remember, 3 points does not hurt you, okay? Kicking a field goal does not hurt you. Getting a touchdown is great, but you got to walk away with points.
You okay with this for Jake Dickert?
Hey, 4th down, you're going for it. This is what you do at home.
Has 2 touchdown dogs as well for Jake Dickert.
Call a timeout, though. At least talk about it.
And that's what Jake Dickert does. Uses his first timeout with a huge decision here.
Yeah, I like this timeout here. Just let's talk about it and see what the defense presents you.
With Wake Forest trying to beat Georgia Tech for the first time since 2006. We take you back to the ACC championship game that was oh so tightly played. Not a whole lot of offense in that one. Jim Grobe, the head coach. Demon Deacons win it 9-6, their first ACC title since 1970 for a team that then went on to the Orange Bowl.
You sure that wasn't an Army-Navy game? Nobody wanted to score a touchdown that day. How about that?
All right, so after some thought, field goal unit comes out for Jake Dickert. 3 points. I mean, you're up 11 already. Make it a full 2-touchdown lead.
Yeah, why not? And you get the ball to start the second half. So I think this is a decision best for Wake Forest.
And from the 7, I guess with that logic, you can understand it. for Connor Calvert, who's had a couple of misses this year, but the redshirt freshman is good here. Jake Dickert takes the points. Remember, they get the football to start the second half, and they're up 17-3 on Georgia Tech.
You couldn't ask for a better start for Wake Forest, offensively and defensively. They've been the most sound team, and it looked like they came ready to play. And on the opposite side, of just looking from my vantage point of that Georgia Tech sideline, doesn't have that same bounce, doesn't have that same grittiness that we saw a couple weeks versus Clemson, right? That entire sideline was bouncing up and down. There was excitement. They were ready to go. And right now, we just haven't seen that same type of energy from the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
It ends up being a 3-point swing at least after what was ruled an incomplete pass and not a fumble, not taken away by Omar Daniels with the help of Kyle Efert. And so instead of Georgia Tech with a chance to add points before halftime, Wake Forest got 3 more. And again, they got a chance to have the football right back to them. Shane Marshall ready to get it from Caleb Carlson with 22 seconds to go in this first half in Winston-Salem. Shorter kick this time, and Marshall takes it out. And Marshall gets tackled at the 21-yard line. Let's check out today's road test brought to you by Goodyear. Part of the reason why that Georgia Tech trails by 14 in this game is a couple big 4th downs. If you're just joining us, when on the move in plus territory, the first time they went with a fake punt that came up short of the sticks.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. Their punter, Marshall Nichols, decides to throw. Why not use Haynes King in that situation? And then on a 4th and short, you do use Haynes King and doesn't get the first down. And this was a crucial play right here in this first half. An incompletion ruled incomplete by Robbie Ashford results in a field goal for Wake Forest.
Quarterback run with Haynes King, who lowered the shoulder on Ladarius Webb in the waning seconds here of the first half. Georgia Tech was wondering how it would fare. Underdog label is gone for them. They've proven that over the last few years, but now as a team that is the hunted, in trouble against Wake Forest. Jamal Haynes stretched out by Newer Gatkuth and hardly back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll send us to halftime. Well, Wake Forest has a halftime lead against a ranked.
Also the run game, and then Chris Barnes. That helps out a lot too. You've got number 10 in black on your team.
Robbie Ashford gets the ball, and we check in with Don.
Yeah, Jake Dickert told us he felt like his team pressed in the second half of that NC State game. And I just talked to him heading into the locker room. He said, yeah, we've learned from that. I don't expect that to happen again in this one. I will tell them to remain calm and to finish. He loved the way they limited Haynes King. He said we hit him with a 300-pound man early in that one. And I don't think that he's been the same since. He said we've got to keep getting to him and we've got to keep limiting those explosive plays. Now for Georgia Tech, Brent Key's message to his team, also very calm. Don't worry about the entire game. Third quarter, only thing that matters, and it is all about execution, guys.
Don, it's Robbie Ashford with his legs to start out the second half. E.J. Lightsey on the stop, and that's enough for a first down.
You know, a little surprise here because Jordan Vandenberg was one of my impact players. He hasn't been a big impact. Number 99 in white for Georgia Tech has not been an impact so far in this game as they ran right over the tackle.
Ashford to the air. Deep shot downfield for Mays. And he could not complete the catch. Didn't look like it. They're calling it an incomplete pass. Amari Harvey had the coverage, and Mays nearly hauled it in.
Yeah, it was right at the end. Watch the end of the play. The ball hits the ground and becomes dislodged. An outstanding throw from Ashford again, but Mays just at the end couldn't keep control of that football as he went down to the ground, didn't maintain the catch.
Boy, pretty good ball. And look, we showed you the way that Robbie Ashford started. A lot of it was unable to connect with Micah Mays, who just couldn't complete the catch there.
Yeah, think about going for a shot right there on 1st and 10. That's when you know right now your quarterback's feeling it. You see an accurate pass, just couldn't corral it.
Wipes out what would have been 45 yards for Robbie Ashford and Wake Forest. Up by 14 on number 16. Ashford without much running room. So third down coming up for this Jake Dickert team, who Don said, remember, they had opportunities in their last game 16 days ago against NC State. It was a Thursday night here. Wake Forest went up immediately 14-0 in that game. Chris Barnes had run back the opening kickoff 98 yards, had another big play after that. And they were up 7 at halftime as well. So in this game, how did they handle this second half?
Well, how they handle the second half is just pretty much just playing your game, making your right adjustments, but just making and doing your job. Don't try to be Superman.
On third down at 8, a blitz from Lightsey. Ashford, a dart to Burkhalter, who made the catch, and it's a first down. Boy, what a throw again, and Burkhalter goes down to get it.
But just seeing the pressure. Lightsey's the linebacker. He's going to come right here and blitz, but watch the quarterback. He sees the blitz, makes a little subtle adjustment, Mike, and that subtle adjustment allows for him to make the completion down the field for the first down.
And now off a dribbled snap, Ashford is tripped up near the 25. And then Ashford remains down at the end of the run of 28. Boy, another near turnover for Wake Forest, but all the concern surrounds their starting quarterback.
Yeah, nice job by Eifert, the linebacker, 44, chasing him down. He chopped the legs down at the end around that ankle.
Devin Kalani's snap never made it to Robbie Ashford, but he made something out of nothing. And then at the end, though, with Kyle Eifert hawking him down, Ashford was slow to get up.
Yeah, Eifert with a great effort play, and he just gets the back of the leg or the foot of Ashford. A great hustle play, but Ashford did walk off with his own power.
And went into the medical tent, so we'll see if he's able to come back. Deshaun Purdy, talented sophomore, transfer from Charlotte with confusion right away to Demond Claiborne for a loss.
And Georgia Tech just didn't wait. They went ahead and just brought all-out pressure. First of all, it started with Ronald Triplett, 24, and then Kyle Eifert, who made the tackle on Ashford the play before, came through as well.
Purdy, a 19-year-old who's talented but raw. In the portal process, he briefly signed to go be a Florida Gator, but then promptly left about a month and came here to Wake. He's got big-time arm talent and puts it on display. What a throw there to his tight end, Enny Falai, very close to the sticks.
Oh, man, watch this adjustment by Falai at the end. A nice job of the big tight end.
Timeout on the field for a defensive injury.
Out of Utah Tech, just adjusted his body to make that catch.
Akilo Stone is down, and what a throw from Deshaun Purdy. And this is what Robbie Zell, the offensive coordinator, was saying to us yesterday, that yes, Purdy is young. Yes, he's raw. Yes, he's still growing up on the field, but he told us it's an NFL arm.
Yeah, it's an NFL arm for sure, and there's a reason why they brought in this transfer from Charlotte. I mean, they battled it out during fall camp. So when you're battling it out, Ashford won the job, but they are really high on Deshaun Purdy.
That's the 6th-year senior nose tackle. Akilo Stone, you see from Savannah, Georgia, a boomerang transfer. 3 years at Georgia Tech, then went to Ole Miss, and then came back.
He's right
see
there
the
in the
carnage.
middle. Yeah. Just the end of the play. A couple bodies falling down on top of Stone.
This guy who's played well in the middle of the defensive front for Blake Gideon, about 25-30 snaps a game for Akilo Stone. Ahead of third down and inches for Wake Forest. And how about the throw from Purdy? Started 6 games last year at Charlotte. And again, the talent was noticeable. Completed 50% of his passes, though, there. So some ebbs and flows. There's growing that has to be done. He's only played 13 snaps before this season. All of that was in a week 2 blowout against Western Carolina. He was 3 for 4 with a beautiful touchdown pass in this game. For now, he stays in there with Ashford on the sideline. And Claiborne up the middle, and Demond Claiborne has enough for a first down. Saw Ashford, who was on the sideline in discussion with the training staff. But it's Purdy for now for Wake Forest. Ashford has gone back into the tent. And now ahead of first down, we get pre-snap whistles. The officials come in to discuss with Wake Forest center Devin Kalani.
It's one of those situations that the center moving the ball back. You know, when the official taps it ready to play, you know, the center usually comes up and picks the ball up. You know, sometime to snap it. That time the official saying, hey, watch that.
Kalani, a sixth-year senior. You get one warning, so Kalani gets his there. First down at 10. Good cut from Claiborne. And a positive gain of 4.
It's a long handoff. Long handoff, late developing handoff. So at some point, you're going to see Deshaun Purdy pull this play. He's going to pull the ball.
Timeout on field.
You see at the end of it, E.J. Lightsey, who had finally been back healthy this year, redshirt junior linebacker, started his career elsewhere in the state at Georgia. He's down for Georgia Tech. We check on E.J. Lightsey when we come back. Yeah, so right now he has gone back in. That's where he is right now. So in the meantime, if he can't come back, this is Deshaun Purdy's game. Sophomore from Baltimore who already has one impressive throw on his ledger.
And so right now, how much do you trust him down inside the 10-yard line? I don't think they try to keep this ball on the ground just a little bit here. Damon Claiborne, number 1 in the backfield.
With Rob Ezell, the offensive coordinator. It is Claiborne, and he gets tackled right at the line of scrimmage. So third down coming up, and Rob Ezell, who I think has had a really good game calling plays with Ashford, now has his backup quarterback in.
Yeah, sure, and you're trying to find something high percentage for your quarterback. No Chris Barnes on the field, so no number 10. So who's the next guy up? Is it Mays, number 7? Burkhalter is also the receiver over there. I like the tight end up top. We haven't talked enough about Filet.
Purdy on the rollout. He zips one incomplete. Intended for Burkhalter with Clayton Powell-Lee in coverage, and it's fourth down, and the field goal unit trots out.
Oh, he had him wide open. It was Burkhalter. He was right there. He kind of just faded a little bit. You've got to stop on those stop routes. To me, he just drifted a little bit, and Purdy couldn't hit him.
So the longest drive of the day for either team comes to a stop inside the 10 for Wake Forest. Connor Calvert from 24. Zolmi Makes entering today from 22 and 28. He's taken over for the very experienced Matt Dennis, and Connor Calvert drills that. So 23 is the Wake Forest lead. Kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew right here on ESPN tomorrow and the new and improved ESPN app. Then we'll have 2 Monday Night Football matchups for you. Jets-Dolphins square off at a special start time of 7 Eastern on ESPN, and then Bengals-Broncos coverage starts at 8 Eastern over on ABC, and both available on the ESPN app.
Jets-Dolphins, who's going to win? 2 0-3 teams. Somebody's got to win, Mike. Somebody walk away 1-3. Is it Jets? Is it Dolphins? We'll see. Tua's got to have a bounce-back game, and we'll see the quarterback situation for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor played well last week. But I get a double dip of Monday Night Football this week.
And here in Winston-Salem, Jake Dickert's team is up by 17 on number 16, Georgia Tech. It's been a heck of a statement for this Demon Deacons ball club in year 1 of Dickert after taking over for Dave Clawson, who resigned in the winter. And what can Georgia Tech do offensively here out of halftime? They thought they were going to have a chance to maybe put some points on the board. Robbie Ashford did not turn it over. It was determined and overturned on replay review ahead of halftime. So Georgia Tech still sitting on 3 points. Jay Marshall takes it out for the Yellow Jackets. And he rumbles to about the 21. Time now for today's weekend lineup. It is brought to you by Wendy's. What a slate. I mean, Reese Davis said it on game day that this is the best Saturday so far in the college football season. What are you most excited for?
Well, obviously Alabama, Georgia. To me, I think that's the game of the day. Obviously also that LSU Ole Miss game coming up, and a sneaky good game. We saw those Cyclones a couple weeks of Iowa State taking on the Arizona Wildcats. That's one of the games I've got my eye on as well a little bit later on right here on ESPN.
Yeah, so much good action going on. We got a jacket in Miles Forrestall, who's slow to get up on special teams for Georgia Tech. Yeah, you got the Lane Kiffin, Kiffin family fun going on all week ahead of LSU and Ole Miss.
Very interesting, right? A lot of storylines. Lane Kiffin, my former head coach in the National Football League with the Raiders. Always been a big Lane Kiffin fan. Always said he was ahead of his time in the NFL. I knew the young Lane, so now he says he's a little more mature in his age as the head coach at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Georgia Tech gets with it here. And Kirk, I mean, this is an offense that was 6th best in the country in yards per play coming into today. So far today, 3.5 yards a pop compared to 8 yards per play coming in. Haynes King, downfield, incomplete, intended for Eric Rivers.
He's got to make that throw. That's a throw that Haynes King has to make. I didn't see him under a lot of duress, but he's got to set his feet. He's got to throw. This is not going to be the game where Haynes King is going to win running. He's going to have to be the passer that he feels that this offense needs today. They got to get the push the ball down the field.
Malachi Hosley, not much running room. Zach Loavichin, the steady 5th-year senior, former walk-on nose tackle, was in there. And Dylan Hazen joined him as well, just a yard, and now 3rd down. And where does Buster Faulkner go offensively? King zips one, got it to the sideline for Rivers. Maybe a little up-tempo is the answer as Rivers gets involved.
Yeah, you saw that as well. They got right back on the football, and really, this Wake Forest defense didn't have a call set. They got back on the line of scrimmage. I think Jake Dickert, head coach of Wake Forest, he's a little upset.
Legal substitution, defense, more than 11 players on the field. Got penalties decline, resulted in plays, a 1st down.
And that's what Georgia Tech did. They went quickly and didn't allow Wake Forest to substitute. They tried to run a player on late in that down. It's too many guys on the field, but that's maybe the magic elixir for this Georgia Tech offense here in the 2nd half. A little up-tempo.
Ball's at the 40 for Georgia Tech. King fires into coverage and incomplete. Karan Prati was draped all over Eric Rivers. So if you're Buster Faulkner, you're trying to do it with the arm now of Haynes King a little bit more.
I love the eyes of Prunty there, right? He just playing off. He's just staring down Haynes King. I think he didn't realize he could have intercepted that pass because he had good eyes on the quarterback.
Scotty Hazelton told us Prunty's been their best cover guy at corner, the 6th-year senior who began his career at Kansas and has really good length. Sideline Rivers again. Now Eric Rivers has been involved, the 5th-year senior, Florida International transfer, former walk-on defensive back, who's a great story.
Nice rhythm throw there from King to the outside. Rivers with the conversion.
King, sideline again. Rivers again, his 4th catch.
Hey guys, how about Eric Rivers? I mean, I tell you what a journey he has been on. Walk-on at Memphis, had to work 3 jobs to make it all work. One of them at FedEx, but when he injured his shoulder, couldn't lift boxes anymore and had to quit. Had his son Eli around that time. Transferred as a walk-on to FIU, and at that point thought he was going to have to walk away from football to provide for his son. But instead, Georgia Tech gave him his last chance.
And now Haynes King, Don, scampers with 18 more yards. So doing it with his arm with Rivers, and now those legs from Haynes King.
Well, it's kind of sparked the offense a little bit, right? A couple of completions to Rivers, and now you get the quarterback run working for you again with Haynes King. So nice job with the rhythm passing. Now you get inside close to the red zone, and it's Haynes King running the football.
To the 25 and a handoff for Jamal Haynes, picking through the rubble for 2. Dylan Hazen in on the stop, and boy, this was much needed for Georgia Tech offensively.
Yeah, because they had to sit on the sideline to start this half and still watch Wake Forest march down the field. They only got a field goal, but still, there's some angst a little bit when you look at the Georgia Tech sideline. This is one of their best drives of the game, and it really started on the arm of Haynes King.
Haynes King had told us coming in, we still haven't scratched the surface offensively of what our offense should be. Well, they've engineered a lengthy drive, and they come out with formationally what Jake Dickert calls formational wizardry to an extreme, and that prompts a Wake Forest and Jake Dickert timeout.
Charge timeout.
So,
Wake Forest.
Georgia Tech's on the move, and they needed this. Can they turn it into points? Down 17. Reach the ACC championship game, but they trail in this game by 17. It was a slow start. We only had 3 points about the first 20 minutes of game action. Since then, 20 unanswered for Wake, who is now without starting quarterback Robbie Ashford, who's been trying to go. See that exchange there with his head coach Jake Dickert, and they've been working on his right knee. Meantime, Georgia Tech's on the move with a much-needed and efficient drive, and Haynes King throws low to the sideline, but he got it complete to Malik Rutherford to set up third down and short.
Man, nice job by King. He didn't take the over route. He had the over route, late breaking one to the corner. Probably could have thrown it. Could have been a contested touchdown, possibly if thrown, but decided to take the underneath route. Now, third and short for Haynes King.
And a sneak from King with a push from Jamal Haynes. Feels like this drive, if Georgia Tech is going to come back, does it have to be a touchdown here?
Well, I would think you would want to go with a touchdown here, and I think you go for it on 4 downs. A field goal, yes, still makes it still a 3-point or a 2-possession game, but you would just want to feel like right now we're too close not to get 7.
You said it right off the top. Haynes King automatic on third down and 3 or fewer. Fresh set of downs. Quarterback run. Haynes King following Jamal Haynes. He gets 4. Gabe Kershke, the transfer from Colorado State by way of Wisconsin, in on the stop.
This whole quarterback run, he's just trying to find his way through. He's looking and searching. Just getting right behind Big Rutledge and his offensive line. Trying to wear down the Wake Forest defense here in the second half.
This excellent start to the season for Georgia Tech at an early crossroads. 12th play of the drive. Again, and Rutherford is stopped by Gabe Kershke for a loss of 3.
And what a job by Kershke. Just doing his job, playing off blocks. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage. It's always a challenge going against the quarterback, but watch the end man on the line of scrimmage just flash late. Outstanding job by Kershke, keeping an eye on the running back and the quarterback, but converged on the RB.
Third down and 10.
Rivers has been the go-to guy, Mike, so far. He's on this drive. He really got it started. Can they find Rivers, who's in the middle in the slot? Timeout, Georgia Tech.
With the play clock winding down.
Charge timeout. Georgia Tech. Their first. 30 seconds.
The first burned by Brent Key. And on the flip side of things, I know Georgia Tech is driving the football here, but how impressed have you been by Wake Forest defense and first-year veteran defensive coordinator Scotty Hazelton?
Yeah, I just love the way that they've been playing. They've been flying around, getting to the football, and it was one thing that he said over the last couple of weeks is that they've had a chance to check their work. All right, check the work of Georgia Tech. They've watched every bit of film that they can on Georgia Tech, and right now it's showing. They've had a plan in place for Haynes King, and it's really frustrated this Georgia Tech offense today. Just hasn't been a lot of opportunities for the big play, and Haynes King has had to earn every single bit of it.
You mentioned Rivers. You expect that's where they go on third down?
Yeah, I think so. This has to be, to me, something to where Rivers, who's right here in his stack formation, there he is in motion.
And is it 4-down territory as well? On third, King all day. King floats one back in the end zone, and it's Rivers. There is a flag down.
It's going to be a hold on Wake Forest. This touchdown is going to stand. It was a hold right there. It looks like on Canyon. The hold's going to be on Canyon, number 4, the receiver. Trayvon West held him, but what a throw.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, that penalties decline, result of the play, touchdown.
Haynes King had an eternity, and he does indeed find Eric Rivers.
Just watch how he works and just works and works and then finally uncovers. He just works the back line, just keeps working, and then shows that hand. That's an outstanding job by Rivers, being available for his quarterback and finding a way. I mean, that's all protection too, Mike. He had all day to throw. And when you have all day to throw, he just hurls one. And a nice job of just finding a way, doing something. We said they had to get 7, but watch the protection that Haynes King had. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. He had almost 6 seconds to throw the football. And I'll tell you this, as a defender, I can't cover that long, especially when it turns into backyard football. And that's what that last play was. That was backyard football. Haynes King to Rivers for a touchdown.
And on that drive, you see what he did through the air when there was not much going through the passing game for Georgia Tech in the first half. And then how about Eric Rivers creating and in the scramble drill, finding some space. Don told you his amazing story. He's got his first Georgia Tech touchdown. Again, a walk-on at 2 different schools and at a time when the Yellow Jackets absolutely needed it.
No, but I think they uncovered something as well. We were asking who was going to be the guy to step up offensively outside of Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. Well, Eric Rivers raised his hand and says, hey, I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy. And that was definitely a drive that was ignited by the opportunities given to Eric Rivers.
Hayden Burr will send one away. Remember, Chris Barnes is dangerous, but he's got no chance at this one. Check in with Matt Berry in the studio. Man, how about that run from the talented true freshman Nate Shepard. Meantime for Wake Forest, they're up by 10. Got the football inside of 6 to go in the third. And Deshaun Purdy still at quarterback for the injured Robbie Ashford. And that one is deflected by Tajay Butler, the backup linebacker.
Nice job by Butler on the rush. He little blitz and got the left hand up. If you can't get to the quarterback, watch the left hand by Butler. He's got that hand up. That's what you're taught as a defender. Run at the quarterback with a hand up. Number one, it makes the quarterback have to change his throw, his angle of his arm. But if the hand is up, it's probably going to knock the ball down.
A guy who is still very young for his sophomore class. They like the upside of Tajay Butler. 12 personnel, and Purdy keeps, and he is immediately dropped by a Montre Bradford. The sophomore defensive end with a loss of 3, and it's third down.
Well, they put a Montre Bradford in the middle. So watch this play here. He just comes all the way up. He's just not fooled. And that's a nice job by the defensive tackle, just going ahead and making a play. Actually using the end. He's lined up at the end. They're making him, they're moving the front a little bit. And that's a nice job by Georgia Tech, realizing, hey, a couple guys down on that defensive front. They're just moving guys in some different positions.
And now third down and long and empty for Deshaun Purdy. Under pressure. Purdy escapes. And he's tracked down by Clayton Powell-Lee. And it's fourth down.
Well, you can feel the momentum changing, right? You can feel it. You've got guys just flying all around the field. Powell-Lee, he comes from center field and he makes the play. Just outstanding effort. Watch, two guys had an opportunity to bring down Purdy. 1, 2, but just hustling to the football. And watch as Powell-Lee just tracks him down.
Clayton Powell-Lee, the experienced senior, their second leading tackler. Guy who could have taken more money to leave Georgia Tech. Gets home. And now fair catch signal from Bailey Stockton at Georgia Tech, down by 10 with good field position. All right, here we go. Time now for the Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
insert sound. Then here's the question. Georgia Tech and Wake Forest, they have the most letters in the ACC. What is the longest team name in the FBS? That's a good one.
Wow. That is the longest in the team name in the FBS.
I didn't know today was the spelling bee.
Wow. So you're probably thinking of a team that has a double name.
All right, think about it here. I'll call the play.
Okay, yeah.
Gonna give you a sec.
Yeah, give me some time.
Here's the screen set up. Malik Rutherford gets tracked down after a couple. All right, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. And what do we got here?
Aflac.
You got anything?
I don't know. I thought. No.
Roadrunners?
No.
Whoa.
Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders done. 31 letters. There you go.
Yeah, that's a long one. Definitely, I'm going to use that at my next game at the house.
You'll be ahead, I promise you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Second down for Haynes King and Georgia Tech. On the rollout, King to the sideline for Rivers again. And Eric Rivers, you're right, has totally emerged here in this third quarter.
And I think they're going to tack 15 yards on as well, as Haynes King got hit as he released that football.
It might be on perhaps Gabe Kerschke. He had the pressure.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
Again, watch number 10, Gabe Kerschke, at the end, just kind of leaves his feet. And I didn't see much, but you're taught not to leave your feet in that. And when you do leave your feet, look what happens. And it's a nice job by Haynes King buying time and delivering to his best target so far today, Rivers.
Is that enough for roughing the passer in your mind?
It's never enough, but anytime that you jump, Mike, where are you landing it? The head and neck area of a quarterback is always off limits, and in that situation, they're just trying to protect the quarterback.
Fake it. King keeps it with a stutter step, and Haynes King keeps plowing forward. Gets to the 30 with an 8-yard pickup. So a couple good drives in a row for Georgia Tech in rhythm.
Yeah, now you're looking at a different sideline. Remember earlier I said the Georgia Tech sideline didn't have that same bounce. It's a little bit different over there now for the Yellow Jackets.
King pulls it and churns for some more yardage. He gets hog-tied by Dallas Apalava, and it's all Haynes King right now.
Yeah, Langston Hardy had an opportunity, but he went for the running back and didn't hit the quarterback. So now Haynes King, the run game, really has come alive here in this third quarter.
With 2.5 to go in the third. Haynes met right at the line of scrimmage. Nicely defended by the front of the Wake Forest defense, including Kerschke.
Yeah, Kerschke's having a big game so far. He knew that going into this game, the defensive ends, right here, there's Kerschke. He's right there, keeping his eyes upfield.
Live action right side of your screen, and this is Haynes on the underneath, and he slipped free from Hazen. Gets it close to the line to gain, takes it to the 16, a yard shy.
And here you are, 3rd and 3 or less. 3rd and 3 or less, who gets the football? Haynes King, he's 9 of 9 on 3rd and 3 or less when he runs the football on 3rd down.
You asked him about it this week. Haynes King said, I messed with our running backs all summer. I talked some trash. I don't want to talk trash if I can't back it up. He knows he's the guy that very often converts in these short yardage scenarios. Keeps it again with a lane. And a first down, Haynes King. You got to back up the talk.
10 for 10. It's like shooting free throws for Haynes King. Watch the extra blockers in front. It's the fake to Jamal Haynes that gets the linebackers out of it. The linebackers flow over the top. So when the linebackers flow over the top, that's just an easy downhill run for Haynes King with nobody at the second level.
So the hands on the hips for Haynes King as well. This is when Buster Faulkner gets what he calls a smoke break for King. Just an easy handoff to Malachi Hosley. Takes it down to the 5, where it's not a read for Haynes King. There's no option to keep it. Buster Faulkner, in talking with his staff, calls them smoke breaks for Haynes King.
I thought it was funny. He's got to get his guy the oxygen back. They don't have those oxygen tanks on the field. during the series. So how do you get your quarterback to just calm down a little bit, catch his breath? That's how you do it, is a design handoff.
Another lengthy drive from Georgia Tech. The identity of this football team and this offense. King under pressure, back in the end zone, and a dangerous throw. In the vicinity of Dean Patterson. King might have been just trying to get rid of that under heat.
I think he was trying to get rid of it, but it was also a tired throw. You can look at this quarterback right now. Opening up late was, like you mentioned, was Patterson. But watch the quarterback the entire time. Not a lot of legs, just try to just get rid of it. Big third down here, Mike. Big third down. Like Rivers.
Slot right, Eric Rivers has been huge. Haynes King again with the touchdown. Gas tank running low. Haynes King digs deep, and it's a one-score game.
I was always taught one thing, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And just watch this motion and the fake to come all the way down. Like, this is what you see when you go against this team. The fake to the outside, it gets everybody flowing one way, and Haynes King just goes north. This is an outstanding job, man. They just situational masters, the Georgia Tech offense.
That's what they talk about when Brent Key goes over situational football. And a guy he adores playing quarterback for him leads the Jackets on another touchdown drive.
Just a fake toss to the outside. He just got enough energy. Remember, he said thirds looked like second down. He was a little tired. And his coach just gives him a hug and said, that's how you do it. That's how you play, man. We go as far as Haynes King goes. And when he's going like this is a hard team to beat.
And think about that relationship. Brent Key said to us last night, this team is Haynes King, the guy who oozes toughness, the guy who plays through pain, who will run it 25 times if that's what's needed to beat Clemson, a top 15 opponent. Brent Key said, I like to think the team has my personality as well. But so much of Georgia Tech's identity and who they are and who they've become the last few years is tied into their quarterback.
I think their identity in the second half has been what? Physicality, running the football, the passing game, and opening up. It has been a physical passing game that's got them back to their true identity, which is running the football with the quarterback.
And in the waning seconds of the third, Georgia Tech is back within 3. No chance at a return for Chris Barnes. And now look who's got a helmet on the sideline. Robbie Ashford for a Wake Forest offense that has dried up since he left the game. And how about this for Robbie Ashford making a return?
It's in, well, how healthy is Robbie Ashford? He hasn't played in almost a full quarter, Mike.
He has a full tape job on under that knee brace on his right leg as well, guys.
6th-year senior to chance of Robbie here at a Legacy Stadium in Winston-Salem. Damon Claiborne breaks a couple of tackles. With a flag down, Claiborne gets into plus territory before he's ushered out of bounds by Ronald Triplett. And is this coming back on Wake Forest?
Holding. Offense number 8. 10-yard penalty. First down.
They call that on Carlos Hernandez, the slot wide receiver, the transfer from Washington State.
Yeah, I didn't really see much. I felt like Claiborne had got past where that block happened by the receiver Hernandez. It's right there.
We on the.
I think they got the wrong number is what it was.
You see Hernandez's reaction to it, and it wipes out what would have been 30 for Damon Claiborne.
You get Robbie Ashford back. What do you have to do as a team to finish?
They're a good football team. We knew they were going to get their best in the second half and to calm down and get back to what makes us successful. We've been really good in the inside run game. You know, obviously it's tough to have a tough penalty there. And we just got to get back on defense. They're going to run the quarterback, and we got to find some answers.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Deeks.
Donna screen gets blown up by Amari Harvey for a loss of 1.
Nice job by Harvey, just reading it, going to go get it. That's an easy pickup there. That's what you're going to see from, I think, the quarterback Ashford. It's going to be quick throw. Does he have the ability to get out on some movement, play action, rollouts? Those are the plays we saw in the first half. Just want to see how healthy is Robbie Ashford early on. If I'm Georgia Tech defensively, I'm selling out for the running back. I want the quarterback run.
Claiborne is the running back. Check down incomplete from Ashford. 3rd down and 16, and Wake Forest looking for answers offensively. Take a look at today's More Than a Home Team, brought to you by Cracker Barrel. And the home team, with Robbie Ashford in, really got cooking late first half. Without him, the 8 plays with Deshaun Purdy, only 13 yards.
Yeah, the quarterback run was just really not an option. They were just trying to throw the football. But now with the quarterback Ashford back in the game, how do they give him enough time to make a throw down the field? Showing pressure.
Bring 4. Ashford nearly slipped. Ashford directing. Past the line of scrimmage when he threw it to Falai. So this will come back. He was fully past the line of scrimmage. It's illegal if the entire body is behind the neutral zone when the ball's released. This was a few bodies.
And he just got lost on where he was at on the field. He threw that ball. There's a line of scrimmage is right there about the 21. He is full, about the 19, I'm sorry. And he's fully past that line of scrimmage when he threw the football.
So you'll take the penalty, of course, instead of the result of that play. And that'll back up Wake Forest.
And I think the bright spot for me was that just seeing Ashford getting out of the pockets, all right? Using some a little of that mobility and ability getting off.
Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. This penalty also includes the loss of down. 4th down.
So it backs him up, and with the loss of down, it brings up 4th down for Wake Forest. Massive swing in momentum in this second half. True freshman Cal Joseph with some pre-snap movement from Georgia Tech, trying to sell out for a block.
I know this drives coaches crazy. Oh, man, it's 4th and 17. You're not going to block the punt, right? You're actually telling everybody, let's set up for a good return because we've got them backed up.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
On Melvin Jordan, a rotational linebacker transfer from Oregon State.
And that's just a lapse in focus right there. Watch the football. Let's set up for a return.
Cal Joseph gets it away for a backpedaling Bailey Stockton. From the 29, Stockton turns the corner, and Dylan Hazen wraps him up, but not before. 17 yards on the return. Well, Georgia Tech has all the momentum. Haynes King's got the football with the Jackets down by 3, trying not to spoil this. First 4-0 start since 2014, highest ranking in a decade. And trying to make it 5 straight wins to start the season. They're going to have to do it today, if they do, in comeback fashion.
And a lot of it has been their quarterback, Haynes King, in the second half. Was bottled up throughout the first half, but second half he's been able to throw some outstanding throws to Eric Rivers, but also got the running game going by the quarterback.
In King's hands again. Steps up, fires, and he's got it for Canyon. Hurtling into the red zone. Haynes King's doing it all in the second half.
Wow, what a throw. But more importantly, this route, the way it develops by Canyon. He's on the outside, and he just comes all the way across, and they buy a little bit of time for the quarterback, Haynes King. He's all the way up here, and he's just, wow, man, it's a long route. But that's how you do it. You buy time for the quarterback and allow the route to develop, and watch Haynes King deliver the ball right where it needed to be.
As Canyon got behind Devon Patterson and picks up 37. Their longest pass play today. Quarterback run. Nick Anderson on the stop. 5 for Haynes King, who's emptying the tank.
Look at this, these hops by Kenyon. He had full extension. That's high. Was that high hurdle? You like that? Are you a high hurdler? You're a jumper?
That's pole vault right there.
You going pole vault? I'm saying high hurdle. Going out for the Georgia Tech track team right there was Kenyon.
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah.
Early fourth quarter with the Yellow Jackets on the move. Design run. King cracked down by Kershke. First down and goal for Georgia Tech.
Man, this is devastating for a defense because you know what's coming. You're in the red zone. And it's just the offensive line just pushing, and Haynes King is going to get the football. They get extra blockers around there. And you know what's coming, and you can't stop it.
And this is quintessential Haynes King. Keelan Rutledge said earlier this year, Haynes King is as tough as a $2 steak. Hosley met by Newer Gatkuth from behind. I mean, this is what Haynes King has built his legend on in college football. He is a warrior. There's toughness all over the place, and he's leading him back.
And you just feel the momentum shift, and you see the play style is different now. Remember, they went a little hurry up to start the third quarter. Now we've gotten to the fourth quarter. They've slowed things down a little bit, and they feel like they've taken the momentum back and now running the football.
Kings run it 15 times for 92 yards. Make it 16. Met by Nick Anderson. Third down and goal. Can Wake Forest bow up here and halt Georgia Tech, who has been on marches throughout this second half?
You assume 3rd and 4, 5 and goal, and you would assume, hey, they may be throwing. But that's not the mentality. That's not the identity of Georgia Tech. Mike, you know what I say. It's not about plays. It's about players. Keeping the ball in number 10's hands is what you do down here inside the 5.
JT Byrne, the blocking tight end beside King. Fake the pitch. Follow Byrne. King with a push, but he's stacked up right around the 2. Langston Hardy in on the stop. 4th down and goal, and what a stop by Wake Forest.
That's a huge stop. I'm looking at the sideline of Georgia Tech, and they've signaled for field goal. A little surprised. I can't be too surprised here. You got to take the points. You don't want to take the points off the board. But I love the play call. You get down there, 3rd down, 4 or more, and still you rely on Haynes King. Got you enough, but not enough for the touchdown.
Aiden Burr has been perfect so far this season, including a make earlier today, you see, from 35. This from 19, and Aiden Burr ties this game at 20. Georgia Tech has scored on all 3 second-half possessions with 17 in a row. It was 20 straight points from Wake Forest. Now it's 17 in a row from Georgia Tech, with some Jackets fans who have made the trip to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with Kirk Morrison and Don Davenport and our entire crew. I'm Mike Monaco. 20 all is our score, with about 10 to go in this 4th. Another touchback from Aiden Burr. We check in with Matt Berry in the studio. Marcel Reed was fabulous in that win in South Bend against Notre Dame. And now here in the 4th quarter at a Legacy Stadium, Robbie Ashford at the controls, with a give to his star running back, Damon Claiborne. Well, before that play, Wake had not done much offensively. 12 plays, 22 yards since this Robbie Ashford injury.
Yeah, this was the play. It was actually a fumbled snap. Ashford able to pick it up. And just at the end of the play, Kyle Eford with the tackle. Ashford goes into the tent, and so we haven't seen much from this offense since he was injured.
Can't connect there with Sterling Burkhalter, and it's third down. Ashford's had that right knee being tended to. He was testing it out. He had a big brace on it, fully wrapped up as well, playing with that brace. The 6th-year senior at his 4th school, trying to lead Wake Forest to a signature win under first-year head coach Jake Dicker.
Chris Barnes in the slot. He's been the guy to go to on third.
On the left side of the formation, Ashford hits the crosser to his big tight end, Annie Falai, to move the sticks.
Nice job by Falai. He just comes up and runs this an in route and just keeps going. Realizes, wait, nobody's running with me. He doesn't stop and turn for the quarterback because he feels zoned. He realizes, wait, nobody's picking me up, so this could be some man-to-man coverage, and a drop coverage from Georgia Tech results in the first down for Wake Forest.
Annie Falai was a guy that Wake Forest's coaches looked at in the 2-week layoff between games, said they got to get him more touches. They view him as one of the 3 best options around Robbie Ashford. Fake the pitch. Ashford rips one into a tight window and hung on by Carlos Hernandez. Took a shot, and Hernandez comes up with 14.
Yeah, he's hurt on that one. That was a shot that was delivered to him.
Timeout from offensive injury.
But an unbelievable job of holding on to the football. He caught it and secured it, knew he was going to absorb contact, but still was able to maintain the catch, delivered. The blow was delivered. He's still down.
Hernandez, who has struggled getting in sync with Robbie Ashford. Coaching staff has talked about Hernandez having some struggles. There have been some drops, some misconnections with Ashford, but not this time.
I'm impressed so far with Ashford. He's throwing from the well, as they call it, right? He's not on the move. It's not anything where they're bootleg, play action. He's right there in the pocket, standing strong and delivering some outstanding footballs.
And Zach Toby grimacing as well on the Georgia Tech sideline after he delivered the hit on Carlos Hernandez. Junior corner, 2nd year with the Jackets after transferring in from Illinois. Well, Hernandez gets looked at on the opposite sideline. Midway through the 4th, tied at 20. Ashford floats one, hauled in by Mays. Jumping and adjusting into the red zone for 29.
Oh, you love this. All he does is back up and retreat as the quarterback. They're back on the football already. How do you buy time? Well, this time, you just let your quarterback buy time by backing up as he drifts in the pocket backwards to deliver that football.
2 big ones for Micah Mays against the blitz. 1-on-1 to the end zone. Incomplete.
And he stepped out of bounds first.
Jeremiah Melvin, you see the field judge with the hat off and deemed incomplete toward the pylon for the talented redshirt freshman.
Yeah, both officials to that near side to us had their hats off. So they both saw that Melvin stepped out of bounds first, so no matter what, he couldn't be the first person to touch the football. So had he even caught the ball in bounds, would not have resulted in a touchdown.
Working on Daquan White there, the junior corner transfer from Eastern Michigan. Damon Claiborne hops forward for about 5 or 6. 3rd down coming up after the missed connection to Melvin.
Yeah, it looks like he stepped out right about with the 2-yard line Melvin did. And both officials to that near side were all over it. They threw the hats down. Still an incomplete pass.
Where do you go here on 3rd down?
And I'm always looking for Chris Barnes. I'm always number 10, who's in the slot. He's been the guy. And if it's not there for Barnes, the tight end, Falai, has also been there as well.
Ty Clark's the running back. Pressure comes. Batted down. And 4th down coming up. Clayton Powell-Lee got a piece of it as the safety came on the blitz.
Blake Gideon, the defensive coordinator, the old safety himself, decides to dial up the safety blitz. That's a nice job by Powell-Lee. He waited at the right time and came with the pressure. Watch, it just comes in and just gets that hand up.
And now Connor Calvert comes on from 27. Couple makes today inside 25. And the redshirt freshman off the upright and no good. Calvert with the hook draw, and we stay tied at 20.
You just got to fight. You fight to the end. You hold and you bring pressure. That time, the pressure went the opposite way of Wake Forest. No good.
With the cues while waiting for their turn to get food. Then it's chair drills, which is a walkthrough of every single play call you might hear today. And after that, headed to the bus. But it looks like, guys, maybe it just took the second half to wake up. That was an early morning.
Great stuff, Don, who was embedded with them today. Georgia Tech with the football, tied at 20, and Jamal Haynes fumbles. Karan Prunty pounces on it. Wow. Dylan Hazen forced it out of the midst of Jamal Haynes.
Yeah, 24, Dylan Hazen put the helmet on football. That's a nice job by the fifth-year senior. They call him the world traveler. He likes to travel the world, but man, he traveled right into the ball carrier Haynes. And watch, he's got the ability. He's getting through. Jamal Haynes in 24 just puts that shoulder pad right there on the football, and it's knocked away, and it's picked up by Prunty.
The first turnover of the game is enormous. Yeah, the fifth-year senior, very experienced linebacker Dylan Hazen propped it out. They'd been looking for him to bounce back from his last game against NC State. Well, how about a timely takeaway in a tie game? Ashford escapes, and Ashford dives down with that knee brace on. After the missed field goal from Connor Calvert off the left upright, the turnover, and a hobbled Robbie Ashford giving everything he has for Wake Forest.
Man, this could be his flu game, but it's not the flu, it's the leg game. And right now, you can tell he's gutting it out right now. He's hurt, doesn't have that ability to really truly extend the play, but he's just getting positive yards, getting to the next down.
Sixth-year senior who has overcome a ton of adversity in his life. Devon Claiborne straight ahead, might be a face mask in there against Georgia Tech. Took the carry to the 16-yard line. This appears to be going on the Yellow Jackets. Jay Lightsey hobbled as well.
I think it was Alexander, 33.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, penalty and force half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Yeah, that's 33, Matthew Alexander, right there on the D-line. Fifth-year senior out of Beaufort, Georgia. And those are always hard, right? You're engaged with the blocker, and you get the left hand out to try to secure the tackle, but just got the hand up too high around the face mask.
And can Wake Forest pay it off this time in the red zone? First and goal for the Demon Deacons. Devon Claiborne in the pistol. Bobbled snap, and Claiborne is blasted. Met by a Montre Bradford immediately for a loss of 4.
Mike, we were talking right before Ashford came back into the game. What do we talk about? You sell out on who? The running back. I want Ashford, the quarterback, to pull it and run. I'm going to tackle the dive, tackle the running back every single time, and force the quarterback, Ashford, to show me how healthy he is.
Claiborne to the sideline, and the sophomore backup Ty Clark spells him after the big hit. 4-man rush. Ashford fires, incomplete for Clark out of the backfield. Third down and goal. And do you trust the kicking game as well after the miss from Calvert? What's going through the mind of Jake Dicker?
Well, you still have to trust the kicker no matter what. I know he missed a short one, but right now, third down, you don't want to throw it in traffic. That's the one thing. So something quick and easy to get it to the outside. Hopefully you can find somebody in space. How do you create space? Especially with this guy right here in the slot. I'm always walking, finding where's Chris Barnes, number 10, getting him the ball in space.
Motions out, and now on the move. Ashford looks that way, incomplete. Harvey bangs Barnes, and it's 4th down. And remember, the last time from around this distance, Connor Calvert came on, and the 3rd miss of the season. A couple weeks ago, he chunked one from 35. That right there inside of 30 off the left upright. This would be from 30 for the redshirt freshman. Would be a career long for Calvert. Trying to give Wake Forest the lead. Calvert atones, and the Demon Deacons have the lead on number 16, Georgia Tech. An exhale from Deke Nation. 5 to go. Wake Forest in front. Win with its first-year head coach Jake Dickert. Wake stirred to life in the 2nd quarter, but then Haynes King and Georgia Tech did the same in the 3rd and early in the 4th. Robbie Ashford, the Wake Forest 6th-year quarterback, playing hurt with a knee problem. And we've got a 3-point game with 5 minutes to go. Let's check in with Matt Barry. All right, Matt, awesome day. One of the best in recent college football memory. Louisville trying to stay perfect, and so are Haynes King and Georgia Tech. Down by 3. King, seen, got it complete. Out toward the 45 to Malik Rutherford. And again, remember the significance for Georgia Tech, trying to stay perfect and keep those ACC title hopes alive and the college football playoff hopes alive as well. With a loss, would drop all the way down to 4%, according to ESPN Analytics. Going to be favored in every game the rest of the way until Georgia in the regular season finale. King rolls and fires for Eric Rivers. And Rivers across midfield. Ladarius Webb on the tackle, and still plenty of time to go.
Yeah, but you get a feel right now that this is the Georgia Tech identity drive. 4 minutes plus on the clock. They've got the football, driving to go for a go-ahead score or the tying score. But they feel this is right where they want to be in the 4-minute offense.
King, too high for Canyon at 6'4". Yeah, Brent Key said to us yesterday, our identity is physical, tough, and disciplined. They've been building toward this. They've been the underdog. They've done that in years past. Have they arrived? Can they avoid a stumble today?
And can they play with expectations? The expectations is they know they're a good football team, but these are the type of games that you have to win on the road, especially when you're down late.
From the 46, King, deep shot, and he overcooked it for Canyon. 3rd down.
A little miscommunication there. Canyon broke to the inside. That ball's thrown to the outside, just playing off the leverage of the cornerback to the outside. But this is 4-down territory, I think, especially this time in the game. 4:08. You're trying to just get this in half. If you can get half of this 10 yards to go for it on 4th if you don't pick it all up here.
See, they've been great on 3rd downs in this 2nd half. King, sideline tight window incomplete. Intended for Canyon again. And Ladarius Webb straps in.
The 5th-year senior, he's on the outside and does a nice job of maintaining his leverage, playing back through the football, knocks it down.
And Georgia Tech went up-tempo ahead of 4th down, and it prompts a Jake Dickert Wake Forest timeout.
Timeout. Wake Forest.
So the ball's
seconds.
at the 46. That's probably just outside of the range, maybe by 5 yards or so, of the excellent field goal kicker, Aiden Burr of Georgia Tech. And Brent Key had the offense stay out there ahead of 4th down. Remember, Georgia Tech has already been in a tight late-game scenario earlier this year. This was a couple of weeks ago at home on the flats against Clemson. Game was tied in this case when Bird drilled it from 55.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that same situation at this moment, right? Still too much time on the clock. You've got timeouts, but I do like the decision here to go for it.
Or so we thought. Marshall Nichols runs on, the punter. The 5th-year senior who last time ran around this spot tried to fake. But this is 4th and 10. And Nichols will boot one away. And we've got whistles at the snap.
The ball was snapped prior to the whistle being blown for ready for play.
So Georgia Tech too eager to punt it away. Decision-wise, is it the right decision?
Yeah,
I think so. You had thought maybe it is 4-down territory. They didn't pick up anything on 3rd down, though.
I think if you would have picked up a little something on 3rd down, it gives you a better opportunity on that 4th. But because you still 10 yards, I think you try to punt the ball and bury him down inside the 20-yard line.
Nichols skies one. It lands inside the 5, and it is perfect. Down at the 7 on a beauty by Marshall Nichols with 3:55 to go. Our Week 5 ACC Network football lineup continues this afternoon. Boston College and Cal getting started right now in Chestnut Hill. Then we cap the night in Palo Alto with Stanford and San Jose State at 7:30. And remember, you can always watch on the ESPN app. Kirk Morrison, Don Davenport, Mike Monaco with you coming down the stretch in Winston-Salem. Brent Key's team went down big earlier, but they answered here in the second half. Can they get a stop? Wake Forest with the football up by 3 with 4 minutes to go for Jake Dickert's team. Damon Claiborne tried to bounce it, got around the corner with a flag down. Ran it out to the 13-yard line. We got to check that marker on the perimeter.
Holding. Offense number 79. Penalty enforced half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's the talented right tackle, the Washington State transfer, Falili Faamoe. And that's costly as a drive starter.
Yeah, Faamoe just got turned at the end. He's right here. Just watch how he gets hooked. He hooks the defender who kind of got up the field. See up the field and sees that last little hold as that defender had gotten already went by him.
So it takes away 6 yards on the ground with Claiborne. Tight quarters for Wake Forest. Claiborne straight ahead. E.J. Lightsey in on the stop. About a 4-yard pickup there.
Going back to what Jake Dickert, the head coach of Wake Forest, told us yesterday, Mike, we have to be better in the moment. They've got a lead. They got the ball. You've got to be better in these moments to execute, get the ball down the field, and really not even let Georgia Tech have the football back. They didn't have that opportunity a couple weeks ago against NC State. They had the lead, but they relinquished the lead late and lost the football game. They said that was a learning moment, and you see it right here. Can they make up for what they happened a couple weeks ago?
And it looked like Brent Key was talking through the analytics of it on the sideline. 2 timeouts, remember, plus the 2-minute timeout. Boy, low snap, and Ty Clark gets dropped at the 10. So 3 yards there. 3rd down coming up. Amari Harvey the stop. Clock continues to roll here. Brent Key not going to use him yet ahead of 3rd down.
Big call here from Blake Gideon, D coordinator. Does he send a little pressure on Robbie Ashford, knowing he's kind of been immobilized a little bit? He hasn't been able to run, so he's been a stationary target in the backfield as the quarterback.
If you're just joining us, the 6th-year senior quarterback Robbie Ashford hurt his right knee in this half. Left the game for a couple of drives and has since returned. On 3rd down, he goes to the air, and Ashford into a window and hung on. Sawyer Racanelli's first catch in a Wake Forest uniform is enormous.
And I'm asking how? How does he get this ball in there? Racanelli, fearless fearless. He knew he was going to get hit. But watch the location of this football. It jumps right in there, and he takes the hit. You mentioned it, Mike. He had 0 catches coming in today, and maybe the biggest catch of the year.
Senior transfer from FCS Montana. He's more known for his work as Wake Forest holder, and he hung on through the hit of Kelvin Hill.
Yeah, man, the biggest catch of the year. Unbelievable. Still not sure how that ball got in there, but outstanding job by Ashford as well.
So 2 minutes to go, and this is Ty Clark on the ground. Couple timeouts at the disposal of Brent Key.
Charge timeout. Georgia Tech. Their second. 30 seconds.
Now, worth noting, too, it has been Ty Clark the last few snaps, not Damon Claiborne, the superstar running back for Wake Forest, who went out grabbing at his right shoulder. So the backup, Ty Clark, assumes this duty for Wake Forest program in year 1 under Jake Dickert, who has 8 straight losses, you see, against AP top 20 teams. Looking for a signature victory in this new era post Dave Clawson.
Well, I mean, this will be huge. And right now, they're going to lean on this offensive line. The offensive line they talked about to us yesterday, that they just want reps, but they want these big-time reps. These are the reps that you dream of, Mike. These situations, under 2 minutes, trying to run the clock out. And then Robbie Ashford, the quarterback, been limping around. Hasn't really done much as these fans start to get ready. They feel the energy that Jake Dickert has talked about around here in Winston-Salem. It's a different energy right now. And can this offensive line push for a first down?
2nd down and 6. Clark again, stacked up right around the line of scrimmage by A.J. Hoffler. So 3rd down coming up, and the final timeout used by Brent Key.
Georgia Tech. Their third.
ESPN
30
College
seconds.
Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
Programming note, if you're looking for Auburn and number 9 Texas A&M, that game is starting on ESPNU. We will get you there when this game goes final. For the fans just joining now, Kirk Morrison, what have been the issues for Georgia Tech to take nothing away from how Wake Forest has played?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen from Georgia Tech today is they took too long to get going. They slept through the first half pretty much, and they've kind of put their foot on the gas in the second half. They have to find a way to get a stop here to have any chance to have their quarterback, Haynes King, try to bring them back one final time. But on the opposite side, Robbie Ashford's been in college football. It feels like an eternity. This is his opportunity right here on 3rd down.
Pre-snap movement. Ashford goes to the air. Down the sideline, it's incomplete. But there is no flag down, and Jake Dickert and Robbie Ashford are irate. Looked like Daquan White was very close to creeping over the line, if not over the line, but no flag, and it's 4th down, and you save 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, he's in the neutral zone. To me, at first look, at first glance, he's in the neutral zone when that ball is snapped. That should have resulted in a 5-yard penalty for offsides. He tried to get back in time, but I felt when that ball was snapped, I thought he was in the neutral zone. That's a gift for Georgia Tech.
This is 2 weeks in a row in the ACC. You've had almost the exact same play, both times no flag called. Joseph gets it away, and Bailey Stockton has the fair catch at the 30. So let's see. We tried this angle as well.
Yeah, he's in the neutral zone.
I mean, the foot.
He's there. He never got back. From that vantage point, I never saw him get back.
Let's bring in our rules expert, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, from those 2 angles, not perfectly down the line, what do you see?
From those 2 angles, unfortunately, the line judge is not going to be happy when he sees the film. That should be defensive offside. It would have given Wake Forest a first down. It's very unfortunate.
Wow. I mean, just an enormous missed call right there.
Yeah, I agree right there with Jerry. Same thing. Never got back before that snap of the football.
And remember, you save about 40 seconds as well. So a $141 for Haynes King, who goes to a crosser to Isaiah Kenyon. Spins into plus territory. Plenty of time to work with. You've got an excellent field goal kicker. The target line for him is the 40. You're 8 yards away from that, and you're thinking more. King, Kenyon the drop. Second down coming up.
And right now, just a vanilla coverage right now from Scott Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest, kind of just keeping everything in front of you. Defensively, the conversation is, let's keep it all in front of us and tackle. Tackle inbounds with no timeouts for Georgia Tech. Tackling inbounds keeps the clock running. Who is going to be the guy to step up? Where does Haynes King go with the football here? It's been Eric Rivers for the most part throughout this game.
King, sideline, a lot of contact, incomplete. Prunty got handsy with Eric Rivers, and there's a flag.
Pass interference, defense number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And I think both guys are over there hand fighting. Rivers sails the outside, then he comes back in. And I think they get that right hand of Prunty, who's right underneath that right hand, right on the shoulder pad.
I mean, that's plenty of restriction, right? Impeding.
It's restriction, especially when that ball's in the air. See, when the ball's in the air, he's restricting him from allowing him to get the reception.
Steaming Jake Dickert was irate about a call that didn't happen. 1:19 to go. Georgia Tech on the move, down by 3, trying to stay perfect.
And I know you're thinking about playing pass for Wake Forest, but Haynes King still a big-time runner.
Right on cue. A draw from King. He gets wrapped up after 2 yards, and the clock ticks. Aiden Hall, the linebacker, in on the stop.
You always have to keep an eye on the quarterback, especially if you're playing these zones. Linebackers flying out. If the middle of the defense is open, Haynes King will go.
King. Check down dropped by Jamal Haynes. So you got 57 seconds to go. Third down coming up. The ball's at the 31. You have an excellent kicker in Aiden Byrne. Career long for him is 55. Brent Key already within what he says he targets, the 40. But you're thinking more if you're the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, you want a more comfortable field goal. You don't always want the long distance. And so right here, I wouldn't be surprised if they go quarterback run here in this situation. Haynes King has been your guy on third down. Keeping the ball in his hands on a QB run is something I think.
Clean pocket. Crosser. It's Eric Rivers in a foot race, very close to the sticks. Rivers out of bounds right near the 23, and did he get enough?
I mean, the speed of Rivers to get all the way to the outside, just racing to that out of bounds marker.
I mean, it is inches right now, and the signal now is first down. So they do move the sticks at the tail end of it. King was staying out there. I think he thought that was fourth down. Then they signaled first.
Yeah, just enough there by Rivers.
Wow, a foot race to the edge, won by Eric Rivers.
Just great focus, and I think they're going to take a look at the replay on this one. That's a close call there.
The previous play of the runner reaching the line of the game is under further review.
Now, they awarded him the first down, Mike, so that's the call. Correct? But now let's look where the football is in comparison to when he goes out of bounds. Initially, I'm looking at the right foot that goes out of bounds. And where's the football?
See Brent Key immediately watching it in real time along the sideline from Rivers. There's that right foot that goes out of bounds. Where's the ball at the time Rivers crosses out? Let's bring in Jerry McGinn, our rules expert. Jerry, another one for you. What do you see?
Another close one. So the ruling on the field is a first down. So replay is going to need indisputable video evidence that is not a first down. So the looks that we're seeing, there's no clear shot right down the line. So you're going to have to stay with the head linesman. I mean, he is right there. I believe he made a good call.
Yeah, my first couple looks at it, it appeared to be he maybe a half yard short. But
after further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Georgia Tech.
Remember, it's different this year in college football. There's no confirmed. It's just overturned or upheld. And so with that amount of evidence, the call is upheld. And boy, Jake Dickert, a few plays now that by inches have not gone his way, and Georgia Tech has a fresh set of downs and still 50 seconds to go. How big has Eric Rivers been? Guy who walked on at 2 different schools to start his career before transferring here to Georgia Tech. And these Jackets led by their quarterback, Haynes King. Dalen Gordon has come in at running back, and he carries the rock. Straight ahead for 4.
Can this Wake Forest defense create one more stop, try to pull the ball out? And how aggressive does Georgia Tech right here in this situation? Do they dare put the ball in the air, Mike?
King under some pressure to the sideline, and that is caught by J.T. Byrne and out of bounds. The tight end with his first career catch with 30 seconds to go.
Man, helping out his quarterback, right? Climbing the ladder, gets the foot down in bounds, and gets out of bounds, too. Big call here, 25 seconds on the play clock. Can Haynes King, the thrower, find an open guy for the lead?
Remember, no timeouts for Georgia Tech. They practice that fire drill field goal. They did it against Clemson. They call it their Toro alert. On the edge, Malik run for third is stopped by Dylan Hazen. 4th down, and here comes the Toro alert. Georgia Tech ran this successfully 2 weeks ago from 55 to beat Clemson with Aiden Burr. They call it situational masters. Mastering these moments. Burr's perfect this year. From 33, he is pure. And we are tied with 2 seconds to go.
Just taking you right back to that sequence. That final sequence. They ran the football. They didn't put the ball in the air. And we take you back to this play on the last drive for Wake Forest. Daquan White looks to be across. They didn't call the offsides. Georgia Tech gets the football back. They drive down. And we've got a game all tied up at 23.
I mean, this has been incredible. If you are just joining us, maybe you were locked in at Fayetteville, welcome to Winston-Salem. 23-23. Wake Forest student section was ready to storm, similar to what we saw a few hours away from here last night in Charlottesville, with Virginia taking down Florida State, and Jake Dickert with a couple of plays so close to a signature win in year 1 after taking over for Dave Clawson, and Brent Key's team trying to stay perfect. What a game this has been. Wake Forest led by as many as 17. They were up 20-3. But Georgia Tech stirred to life with its offense in the second half. They tied the game at 20. We've exchanged field goals since then. And the final 2 seconds as Aiden Burr sends this one booming back toward Chris Barnes. And so 2 seconds to work with. And if not, we go to overtime yet again in the ACC.
Wow, what a game. The first half was all Wake Forest, right? They go in, they feel comfortable with themselves, and then the adjustments that were made by Georgia Tech, more aggressive, more physical. They come back, and it's really been the tale of 2 halves, and that's why we're right where we are right now.
Aiden Burr, perfect. Georgia Tech executes it again. Wake Forest heads to overtime, hosting number 16 Georgia Tech. Overtime is next in Winston-Salem. Both teams ripped off lengthy stretches of dominance 20 unanswered from Wake Forest, but then Haynes King, the tough as nails Georgia Tech quarterback in the second half, has led Brent Key's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets back in this game. We've got overtime. First overtime game for Georgia Tech since last year, end of the regular season. That 8 overtime epic against a rival in Georgia. For Wake Forest, their first overtime game in about 1,100 days, 2022, against then number 5, Clemson. Wake won it. Georgia Tech starts with it, and Haynes King on the ground is swung down by Nick Anderson, a 4-yard pickup.
And they go right back to their normal offense. You get into overtime, you think, okay, we've got to score quickly. No, they want to still let their offensive line take over, using Haynes King, the decision maker, using his offensive line here in overtime.
Again, Brent Key said to us, Haynes King is this team. The tough quarterback has run it 19 times for over 100 yards. Told us earlier this week, he's played through a ton of pain. There's no telling. It's always temporary. He rolls, pumps, connects to his tight end, Josh Beetham. Only his 4th career catch, a 17-yard pickup.
And a little surprise here, Haynes King usually would take off. He sees all that open green grass, but he keeps his eyes downfield, and he finds the late tight end streaking across the field. And now you get inside the 5-yard line, ball's at the 3, and this is Haynes King time. The King conversions that we've said all week long, this is where number 10 keeps the football.
A grinding running quarterback has blockers with him. Haynes King following JT Byrne gets wrapped up after 2, and 2nd down and goal.
You almost feel like they've got 3 plays, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, to let Haynes King find the right window to go through. Use the offensive line, bring in extra blockers. But who do you trust in this situation? You get down here, it's all about trusting the right players. And the right player is Haynes King.
Brent Key has said, I've never met a tougher kid in my life than Haynes King. No surprise, they run him again. King, touchdown, Georgia Tech. Who else would it be but Haynes King?
You just know, watch these surge by the offensive line. You get big 77 Keelan Rutledge pulling around, and Haynes King.